Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fabulous Tuesday. It is a very fabulous and special Tuesday because what is today? Hold on.
Tuesday.
October 12th, Tuesday, 2021. We've officially launched our majestic line of boards and tokens compatible with one of my favorite games of all time, the Flesh and Blood TCG.
And many others.
You want to, if you weren't already aware, I'm going to post a link in the chat.
Cub.link/fab-tokens.
It's important to note these are compatible with, tokens. Not
you could use them for anything. Now we definitely
you can mark things with them.
We definitely looked at our experience with Flesh and Blood as a driving factor for how we went about the designs. But they are not officially Flesh and Blood tokens.
Yeah,
they're not endorsed by Legend Story. They're not endorsed by James. They're not like officially sanctioned, officially sponsored. We didn't use any of their artwork. We all that stuff. So. Just know that. But on the fun side of this, they're phenomenal. I could not be more happy with how these turned out. Jonathan crushed these designs. The final production of all of this is looking absolutely stellar. You've seen us use these on stream for many months now,
which kind of asking questions about these.
Kind of tells you how long the production process has taken. Ran into some issues there.
I mean, we've been using. I have the old red prototypes of those resource tokens at my house, and those were like early this year.
Yeah, very early. We started really early this year.
Lots of crazy stuff. Also, before you tell me why they're awesome, which I do agree, I do want to mention anyone, if you're thinking about ordering them and you want them quickly and you want to have a shot at maybe having them in time for this weekend's calling in Dallas or maybe next weekend in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Next weekend for sure, probably.
Here's what I'll say. Anyone that orders in the relatively near future, I won't put a time limit on that, but soon, may well have their order shipped today. People are already having the order shipped. They were ordering earlier. We sent notices a little early on our community app. So you get text from us if you, kind of like us, are drifting further and further away from social media. Also, our Discord channel. We'll pop a link for that as well. Those are good places to be in the know
Discord is where it's at.
What's going on and to find out about stuff like that a little bit early. But if you have already ordered, those should be making their way to you as soon as today.
Let me run through it while we're here. You guys, let me just do a little promotion marketing here to you, since that is my job. Here, let's do a little top down.
I'm probably back.
Yeah, right. Exactly. See you, Zach. So important things to note. So I've got a 12 millimeter chess expert here. This is the one that we're selling on the site just for ease of access. You can get these anywhere, and you can get them for cheaper, like on Amazon and stuff. So like, maybe that's not the best marketing pitch, but like, they're everywhere.
I mean, there's all sorts of colors. We didn't want to stock the whole range.
In your local store. We just got these because they were really fitting with the design of the boards. They looked nice and synergistic, and they were easily high visibility dice, which we appreciated, particularly for on stream. And if you're doing any webcam games and whatnot, we want these to stand out. So this is our suggested set. It's just the white-black opaque set. Available on the site for a while. People are buying more of them, I think, than I expected. So they may be gone soon, but I want to show you to make sure you understand this.
Well, we also knew people would potentially, I already had several bricks of these same dice in various colors from when I was a kid. So didn't know how many people would actually need them. Yeah, we are almost out of the dice. So
check this out. So we wrote this on the site. Don't miss this. I know most people don't read anything on the website. We know that from many of the contact questions we get. However, that's just human nature. I understand it. There's all these different versions of these 12 millimeter Chessex dice.
Pretty wild, honestly.
And I was amazed. Like these marble dice, you can't really see it on camera. These marble dice are significantly bigger.
If you pull them out, you'll
than the 12 millimeters.
Also, to answer your question really quick, Colt asking about the token set be coming to UK shipping. So it's likely, but the timeline on that is very questionable. So if you want them soon, ordering them now, but if you're wanting to save, it's highly likely they'll end up over there. Right now, the UK shipping is a test of that whole system. It's gone well so far, but not committing to anything until we get a little closer to it.
All right, so some of these styles, so we tested a number of styles. I listed them on the site. The frosted, the opaque, a couple of different ones. The marble ones are the ones that we were amazed. These are much bigger. These marble dice are much bigger than the other ones. Now, these do fit, right? That's in there. That fits just fine. But there are some places like, this little slot, right? Like it fits in there. I mean, this is, like I said, in the Discord, it will be there till the sun goes out.
Yeah, until you really want to move it.
Now you can pull it out. Not a big deal. But these marbles, I mean, if you're if you're playing in an earthquake-prone zone, these might be a good choice for you because they're going to fit in there really tight.
Perhaps you're playing on a boat on a lake.
Yeah, maybe you're playing on a boat. This is a better boat die set.
Or on an airplane.
But
I've done that.
As far as
not Fab. I have played card games on a plane though.
Card games on a plane? Yeah, you have, haven't you?
Absolutely. You
each
have your little tray
that's
that's sitting there.
Find a place to play card games.
Yeah, it's almost a problem.
So this is the marble. Otherwise, all the 12 millimeters we tested fit about the exact same. Everything fits. It's just a matter of how
it fits in a bunch of unique ways too. David here asking a question that I want you to get the opportunity to answer. He says, do these dice trays fit in a standard deck box?
Well, I'm glad you asked, David.
You will notice they are similarly sized. I don't know, to a card.
They are, as you might expect, pretty much right there. We used a sleeved card as the guide here, so that they would fit in a deck box. So if you look at like a sleeved card, right, you're on the same. That's the same dimensions there. And then let me grab a deck box. I'll grab a boulder here. I've got a boulder. I imagine the
you
dragon.
had one sitting right there. I was curious what you were diving into.
So this is like the Ultimate Guard 80, I think. So it fits right in there, and then you put your deck in there. How about this? Put your deck in there. You put your board in there. Look at me. I'm out of here. I don't need anything else.
Ariana's saying, who paid David to say that?
So yeah, right.
So the boards fit in deck boxes.
Fit in deck boxes. Check. Yes.
The question is, do the tokens fit somewhere in the board?
You want to put a board in a Dragon Shield box? Look at you. You're
That's actually pretty sweet. Like you go to a draft. I do that.
Board in the Dragon Shield box.
You buy a new pair of sleeves.
If it's the size of a card, it'll fit in wherever cards fit, right? That's one thing. And then secondarily, so what I've done with my dice set.
That was the most impressive sealing of your deck boxes you've done yet.
It's upside down. No, I'm just kidding.
That was first try. I was kind of waiting for it.
You can get better at things, You can get better at things. So what I did is I took my my Chessex dice brick, you can see here, and I've actually essentially removed like the top layer. Can you see that?
I actually took one more out so that I can actually get those dice out without having to dump them out.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah. And then you can also put them in like that.
Okay.
You see the dice.
So they stack and they got a little lid that fits.
And then you can put more in right here. Now what I'm doing, I kind of stacked them in here. I've got this little green. This is my Fandel Spring Tunic dice. I put that in there too.
Get out of town.
And then get some activation tokens. It slices, it dices.
So it basically fits four groupings of tokens.
The dimensions of the tokens are such that they basically fit kind of perfectly in there. Now I've had some situations where like I'm trying to get them out and it's kind of it takes a second. So like it's not all tuna here,
that big tunic dice there.
Yeah, I have the tunic
fit,
die.
right? That's the important thing.
Everything fits perfectly in there. You can grab it up, you can dump it out. You're ready for a game of flesh and blood.
David Vigil says the fabrication of these tokens looks great.
Thank you.
I was like, what was the word you used there?
These tokens are phenomenal.
Joseph Kane, my token shipped in like 5 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, we subscribe to the 7 Ps of Gary Busey. One of them, I guess we wouldn't say, prior proper planning prevents poor performance.
There's one missing.
Yeah.
I know now. Oh man.
Andrew's Tabletop Gaming, what's up? Order from the UK. Got my cosmic boards and tokens in good time. Thanks. I think I need more cosmic, or you need more cosmic boards, as I think I got the last 2. Fantastic, Andrew. Hey, thank you so much for doing that. We'll continue to expand these UK offerings. Fab compatible, what do we call them? Majestic tokens.
What do we call them?
May well be right behind them. Once we send over another big shipment to restock, etc., we'll look at maybe adding some additional SKUs there. That's right, unshakable care. I like that word, don't you, Big Jim?
Big Jim, designed and produced with unshakable care in Tulsa.
I mean, the thing is, if you actually read these descriptions, we spend a lot of time on actually explaining our thought process behind these tokens.
There is a percentage of people that is like, they love reading these things.
Yeah, if you're that person, please do read it because it explains. Yeah, Zach hasn't even seen it yet. He would never read that kind of information on a website. No. But check that out because there was a ton of testing done on these. You saw some of it on stream, the majority of it off stream. And a lot of it just came down to what do you actually need to track, what's most not innovative, but intuitive to track, and what do you not need to track with tokens, because you'll see, every time anybody produces anything for any game, whether it's on Etsy or 3D printer or whatever, it's like, oh, it's a function of the game, it needs a token. But that's not at all the case, especially in Fab. Like you start looking at +1 attack, +2 attack, +3 attack on tokens, and it's like, how is that helping anybody?
Yeah.
That's just adding more confusion to the board. So the resources are really where the bread is buttered in terms of turn by turn. Make sure that you have the right number. When I pitch a blue, play a 1 cost, and put 2 here floating on my pitch stack, that is so much better. I played a bunch of people this weekend, and it's like pitch, start doing stuff, and I'm like, can you please just make sure that I know
somehow?
what you're spending and where?
Yeah.
Same thing with the activation tokens. So it's like, did I use Oldham's defense reaction already, right? Did I use Azalea's ability? Did I use Briar to create
win?
Embodiment of Earth, Embodiment of Lightning already? Those kinds of things. And on your weapons too, sometimes it's weird, but there's been some like ninja games where it's like swing with Kodachi, do some stuff, and then try to swing 2 more times with Kodachis at the end of the chain. And it's like every time you once per turn something, you just place a token on there to signify that you've used it. Just make sure at the end of your turn, at the end phase, you remove everything.
You gotta have a clear phase.
You gotta clear it out, or else it gets more confusing.
And
then the battle worn tokens, of course, the armor tokens, those are just great.
Those are clutch.
It's easier than having the 1 die, and then
and you can bump a die, and sometimes like you put a die on a tunic, and that's obviously not like a minus armor die.
That's right.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's just
the other thing I would say
impossible.
about these products is that obviously you want to design them to look great and whatnot, but one thing we are very specific about is trying to enhance the game itself and not take away from it. A lot of times there'll be components that are like really bright or poppy or intricate and complicated that kind of like they take your focus instead of the focus being on the game itself.
Yeah.
So once you get to using them, it's hard to explain it, and you'll either agree or not when you actually start using them. So if you buy them and use them, I would love to hear in a comment
on the
or
website.
review on the website. That's
Leave us a 5-star on Facebook, would you?
You know what?
Just pump that rating up
That's
over
right.
there.
Smash the like button.
You never hear from people who are happy,
Yeah, but
Like-
legitimately, Facebook reviews critical. Google page reviews
Google page
absolutely
reviews are
critical.
huge.
Product reviews on the website, same thing.
When's the last time you had a good experience you left a review?
Literally.
Restaurants are the only thing I do it for.
Here's the thing, though. I got a request to take a survey today.
For what? Can you tell me?
I can.
Okay.
That'd be funny. Just go right off the rails.
Something like lightly embarrassing.
It's not lightly embarrassing, but you're gonna hear it and you're gonna be like,
or-
"Oh yeah, definitely." No, it's I took a tour of the AT&T Stadium, the Dallas Cowboy football stadium,
Okay.
and they sent me an email and they were like, "Hey, we'd love you to take a survey, and if you enjoyed your experience or have feedback, you can leave a review on our website here." And it was actually a phenomenal tour. The tour person was awesome. The experience was great. The cost and the everything was great about it.
Value was there.
I saw the email. I was like, I'm going to take the time to actually provide that review. But if they had never asked, I would have never said anything.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
you actually responded to that. See, anytime I get a "would you complete our survey," it's gone before I even read it.
But would you, if you got that email from something that you were very pleased about? That's why I did it. If I had just been okay, I would have bailed.
Yeah.
But like
I'm asking people to do things I don't normally do myself.
I was actually very pleased with the experience. So
Okay.
then them asking was like, yeah, I will do that. But it's not all the time. I get emails that I just unsubscribe from constantly.
I just rarely want to spend 5 minutes doing anything that I didn't set out to do myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's I wish I would. I probably should. It would help. Like at AAA recently, right? So you didn't know this. I locked my keys in my truck in front of Reese's on last Monday. And so, this is one of the advantages. So my mom, bless her heart, one thing that she has always been so attached to is that Jonathan and I, have an active AAA membership in case, because she's always worried about getting stuck on the road all the time.
My dad constantly would be like, do you have AAA?
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yeah, they got really into it.
Greatest
And
brand advocate of all time.
They used to actually plan vacations, I think, too, back when you went to like travel agents and stuff. It's weird. It's weird memories.
I mean, to be fair, though, our parents grew up in a time where if you got straight on the side of the road, it was a problem.
It was a problem. You even call anybody? I mean, but how does AAA work if you can't call anybody? You got to go to the payphone or something? I don't know. All that to say, she has made a point where every year she renews Jonathan and I's membership, so we get it essentially for free.
Okay.
It's an important thing for
That's
her
good
to
value.
provide for us. She's happy about it. So
Makes her feel better.
Once every few years, usually I just lock my keys in my car, and it's a free get out of jail free card for that. One time it was in White Sands in New Mexico, in the middle of nowhere, and they still got a locksmith out there an hour away. Just came out for free. Yeah. So I call in. It's usually 30 minutes or so. Anyway, we ended up sitting there for 4 hours waiting and keep calling back. Like, what's going on? Well, the guy says he's on the way, and then it's like, it'll be another 30 minutes. Then I call back 45 minutes later. It'll be another 30 minutes. Call back an hour later. It'll be another 30 minutes. So then they sent me a survey, and I was like, I'm not even going to take the survey because I just was so mad at how all of this went. But I don't think it's your fault. I think it's just the guy couldn't find the truck he was supposed to be changing the tire of, and then he got confused, and then we all got... So, like, is it really your fault? I don't know. I think you made the calls. I think you talked to the guy. I can't be mad at you, right? But that's very...
So you didn't leave a review, or you did?
No, I didn't. But I should have.
Trevor says it's story time, children. Pull up
well, and I didn't leave a review whenever they did a bang-up job at White Sands, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
so,
you
like,
should have.
I figure I was just leveling the scales. Yeah, I can either do all reviews or none.
I also like leaving reviews when someone was really good at their job.
Yeah.
Like, we went to that steakhouse in Texas.
Yeah.
Left a review.
Yeah, hey, that's good. That's worth doing, yeah.
That place, Papa's Brothers.
Yeah.
If you're going to the Dallas Calling,
that was top.
It's not cheap. It is not cheap. If you're going to Dallas this weekend for the Calling, and you want a nice steak place,
it's not. It's high. It's high end, man. It's not like high end, like gold leaf, like.
No, but it's high end. Like I think about the food every couple days.
It's a steakhouse, like a St. Elmo's style steak. What, $65 prime rib kind of thing?
Yeah,
your apps are going to be 13 to 15. You can lowball it with like the fish or like the pasta for 20-25.
A good potato.
25 to 30. You could make it out of that place for 50 if you were really just there to have a good time.
Unbelievable food, unbelievable dessert, and the service was top.
It was really good. Yeah, it was really good. That place was great.
Let me think of his name. Jerry,
yeah, great. Yeah, they really did a good job. They did a good job.
He was great. If we get Jerry at Papa's Brothers, tell him that we say hello.
Yeah, so anyway, if you have a good experience ever,
leave a review.
Please leave a review.
All that to say, if you like what we do, leave a review.
Because what happens is like these, people are like, what's this Team Covenant thing, And then they'll go over and they'll be, the Facebook is at the top of the SEO results, and then it'll be like, 4.7 stars. That's pretty. But then you click in and it's like the 1 star is like, these guys like, basically like took a brick and sent it through my window, and I'm upset. So you hear, a lot of those reviews are left by people that are like fuming mad about something that didn't go their way based on policy or however the resolution process worked out. But you don't have a lot of reviews from people who like what you're doing. So that, that's helpful.
Yeah. Also, the best review is just buying things.
That's right. That's right.
Huge shout out to everyone who's already been buying these Majestic tokens and boards. There's been a lot of you. That kind of support. We can only invest the amount of time and research and development we put into these products because people continue buying them. So huge shout out to you, all our subscribers, content members, etc. Couldn't do any of this without you.
All right, for the price of that stake, you can get a Majestic dice board and token set with a black and white dice brick, such as steel. This comment sponsored by Zach. And Nathan Bradley is saying Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Nashville. Went there last weekend. Best steak I've ever had. I left them a review. Seems like they deserved it.
When I went to Ruth's Chris, it was really good.
Apparently, they have 1,000-degree ovens.
Really?
For their steaks, yeah.
It's hot. Ruth's Chris, so to me, Ruth's Chris is like, it is really good, but like Papa's Brothers, as a comparison, or Elmo's, are like that same exact lane, except for not chain/commercial.
Yeah.
And so you just have a little, I lean towards that. Like,
yeah. It's a little more authentic, cared about kind of vibe.
Yeah. It's something special. Yeah.
All right. You want to play some Fab? You want to do some Sealed?
Let's do it. So we're going to be doing Tales of Aria Sealed still. We are going to Dallas this weekend, so if you're going to be there and you want to say hi, feel free to do so. When we were in Vegas, tons of people. We got some in-person reviews, and it was very positive.
That was awesome. That was a good time.
That was really nice to get that.
Say hello. Please say hello.
Well, I think it's time to open the Fabled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
And people are asking questions about Sealed Saturday.
Yeah, so apparently, more importantly, Felino DP says Papa's Brothers, Del Frisco, and Bob's are the best steakhouses in Dallas.
I've been told by a friend that the best steakhouse in Dallas. We got to get this figured out because we're going to Dallas this weekend. You know what I mean? While I'm there.
Yeah. Are we actually going to be able to do that?
When in Rome, why not?
Can we do it as a company expense? Because I'm a little strapped for cash, man.
You just got to win.
I'm not spending $100 on a meal.
Oh, you're fine,
I'm going to New Orleans next weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I gotta save up as much money as I can.
Oh,
every
your vacay money.
$15 not spent as a Sazerac in my body.
Well, if you want, we can go and you can just like smell the food.
I'll get that baked potato.
So I've been told Nick and Sam's is the best steak in Dallas.
Okay.
But you know,
so we gotta
Dallas is the land of steaks.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, it's like a beefy.
And if you're a football fan, it's the land of mistakes.
That's a really good joke. David Vegel said, "How did your Tulsa event go?" Hey, the Sealed Saturday was so good.
It really was.
It got me excited again about people.
We had 50 people registered for the event, and it was just
positivity. The energy was so good in that room.
It was so good to just be in person again.
Rafe has a lot to do with that. Rafe did an excellent job.
He's good on the mic, even though there wasn't a mic.
He's a great frontman. It's
Don't
hard
tell
to find
that.
a good frontman in a game store.
He's a good frontman.
Crushed it at that. And all the ops boys, everyone doing registrations. It was all. It
Smooth.
seemed very smooth. I didn't hear about any weird judge calls or anything.
We did 6 rounds of Swiss. So we did the sealed pool, open, that whole thing. 6 rounds of Swiss, and an hour lunch break. We were done at 3 something.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It was crazy.
As we said,
awesome.
It's not hard. Wait, what do we say? It's not complicated. It's not hard, but what did I say earlier? Can I quote myself on this stream? It isn't hard, but it's difficult. What did I say? I said something very profound. Anyway.
You said it's complex, not complicated.
That's me.
That's pre-stream. You said that.
Yeah, but that's the quote about me apparently.
Oh.
That I'm complex but not complicated.
I don't know about that.
I like that a lot.
Hey,
That's
like
the
Nick
nicest
and
thing to
Sam's.
say. Nick and Sam's, okay.
Vlad says, how many tokens and boards do we have to buy to get this man a steak? Nathan Bradley says, I left Team Covenant a $50 review earlier. It just so happens I get a complimentary set of tokens, dice, and board for my time.
Man, well, good morning from New Zealand. What's up? New Zealand, man. Still the elite flesh and blood community, as they tell it. We're coming.
You know what? I'm
excited
for the 2022 World Championship, so we can put that to the test.
I think we should fly over their nationals.
I don't think we can play.
Oh. Well, can we heckle?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do commentary and then heckle the whole time.
I have heard that the restrictions on the old New Zealand border are coming down.
Yeah, there's some new energy
and
there.
So here's what I'm waiting for. I'm going to be honest. I'm waiting for there to be 2 large fab events in like a 2 or 3 week period so that I can make one trip to the promised land of New Zealand. It's on my top 5, been there for a long time, and hit both events.
Okay.
That's what'll really
All right, I guess I'll go with you. You pulled my arm.
You can't buy a steak, but he's going to New Zealand.
You pulled my arm.
Actually, I feel like New Zealand would be like the ideal place for you to visit.
Yeah, New Zealand. I mean, yeah, it looks awesome. We had some friends that went there, and they really got something out of it. They loved it. All right, let's go top down here. Let's play some Flesh and Blood.
We're back.
Any new things learned? Hey, you won the event, by the way. Zach won.
I did.
Sealed Saturday.
It was a good time.
He beat none other than Arsenal Pass's Brendan Patrick, who, as you know, is plays a lot with Hayden Dale.
Here's what I'll say about Brendan. I looked at his draft pool after we were done.
Yeah, Brendan's an incredible player.
It is unbelievable that he made it to the finals with that draft deck.
Because it was so bad.
It was so bad. Apparently, what he did. So drafts is tough. It is. Draft's hard to practice because you have to have 8 people. It's the step 1. And it's definitely different than sealed. And like at nationals, the first 3 rounds on day 1 and day 2 are both draft.
Yeah.
So like that's going to be a wild time. But essentially, from what I heard, he drafted like really powerful Briar cards early, like a lot of the reds and just the heat. And then all the element cards were just gone from all the packs. Like he only had 2 earth cards in his deck.
So here's the thing though. I'm at a top 8 like that. It's hard for me to believe that there's that much of a skill differential, especially given a bad deck, that he can still pull it off. Like that says an incredible amount about the game.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it also makes me feel like
not a hot
what
potato.
am I missing?
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that
Apparently
question.
You got it.
I'll tell you what we're missing
is
this
Heart
Terra
of Ice.
Sunder. Terra Sunder. Oh, yeah. So
Zach
pack
pulled
1.
that Heart of Ice. We had Arcane Barrier in the draft. So
pack
watch
1,
out.
I open, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm looking at I lean towards element cards early drafting, because those are obviously, keeps you open. You can still play different characters based on whatever elements you're grabbing. And so I'm looking at the element cards. Like, I'll open this pack and show you. are at the front.
Sorry about the loudness of that.
These first like 5 cards are typically where your element cards are. And so I don't even remember what I saw, but I think it was like a red lightning surge card, like that kind of a card, or like a red autumn's touch maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll take the red autumn's touch. That's a great card. And then I looked, and then I had like a pretty good majestic. I don't even remember what it was at this point. And I was like, oh man, maybe I'll take that. And then I got to the equipment slot, and it was a Heart of Ice. Woo! And I was just like, well, I guess I'm gonna be playing Ice because Arcane Barrier in that format's good.
Yeah.
Now half the people at our draft pool ended up drafting Briar, so it's really good in those matches. I ended up actually playing Briar in top 8, Lexi in top 4. So and it was a spicy Lexi, and I was playing against a local named Zach who had beaten me earlier in Swiss.
Zach's great at this game.
Yeah. He is. He went to the Throne School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, no joke. I am already, by the way, this is the best that it could ever get for Lexi so far, so please let it continue so that we can show off a good Lexi deck on the stream.
I am hopeful.
Anyway.
Oh, look at I got Rotten Old Buckler, a Runaways, and an Amulet of Ice. It's going very well so far. Anyways, so I draft that Heart of Ice, and so I'm immediately like, well, I'm not playing Lexi. She's good, and there were only 2 people going Lexi in the top 8. And I think she's really good in draft.
That's where you can get weird.
But
Lexi.
For me, Heart of Ice means I'm playing Old Him.
Ooh, Cold Foil Honing Hood there.
Hey, that's a good start.
What's up?
Anyways, so I started going Old Him, and man, it just worked itself right out.
Man, this looks great.
Had some great games. That first game, I was playing against Ty, who had played in Swiss as well.
Hey, Brendan's on the chat there.
And what up, Brendan? But so here's the thing. I actually think I could have won without Heart of Ice with that same deck. Because that deck was incredible.
Now, were you on the fatigue plan, or what was the grand how am I winning situation?
Well, with Old Him, I think it's there's key stuff you're looking for. Ooh, that's not good in this format. Expose the elements.
Yeah, I mean that is a good card.
That's fine.
I don't know. You might be able to rock that to wreck a Briar turn every now and again. Lose go again, right? No, that's the equipment.
No, that's Blizzard. I'll take that card all day long.
Blizzard, yeah.
Anyway, so the handful of things, right? Here's the hammer. I don't know what it's called. The one-handed hammer, the Titan's Fist.
Yeah.
So as long as you have a blue, you can swing for 3. If it's a blue that costs 3 or more, you can swing for 4. And most cards in this format don't block for 3. So if your opponent even blocks with 1 card, they're probably taking 2 damage. So they only get 10 turns of that before they have to start blocking with 2 cards.
That's right.
Old Him, his key ability is his defense reaction. And my favorite thing is to have a red or yellow of one of the flavors, ice or earth, and then a red or a yellow of the other. And so you basically get to pitch 2 cards, prevent 2 damage, and put a card from their hand on top of their deck. And so if you're swinging the hammer and they block with 1, they take 2, and you put one of their cards on top of their deck, they're playing with a 2-card hand. If they have an arsenal 3, so a lot of those turns
not big turns
get pretty weak. The other thing Old Him can do is he can cover up the attack and then still do the reaction and prevent the next 2.
Yeah.
And I surprised Ty with this in the top 8.
You have to imagine that's built around the Thorn, right? That's the whole idea.
He can basically pre-prevent that arcane damage on the Thorn. As long as he blocks out the rest of the damage, he will cover up that arcane damage coming through. Anyways, so I just had an incredible card pool. You want a ton of blues so that you can use 3 of your cards and still swing the hammer. Ideally, you have a good number of blues that cost 3 so that your hammer's coming in for 4. And then you just want a lot of element cards. So literally, I drew Heart of Ice, and I wasn't even grabbing Guardian stuff. I was just grabbing all the elements that I wanted.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then if I saw, like if there wasn't a great element card for me, but I would see like a Glacial Footsteps or a Thump or a Pump.
You were hate drafting. How dare you?
No, that's just, I was playing Guardian. So it's like now that I know I'm going Guardian, elements are first, and then I can just keep picking it up. And it actually ended up being the guy to my right was also playing Guardian. He was the only other Guardian at the table. So on the 2 packs coming to the left, I had a Guardian filtering my stuff.
Weird.
But I think he was taking the Guardian cards.
Yeah.
And I was taking the element cards.
Yep. Okay.
And then he ended up just not getting great element cards passed to him. And then he, I think, had to start picking element cards at the end. And it would be the weaker elements.
And then you had the Guardian cards.
And then it's like, he's just, like, he kept passing me stuff.
Love it.
And we got done, and he was like, oh, yeah, I was on Guardian. I was shocked. given what he had been passing me.
Pulse of Candlehold, you can only run this if you can do Earth and Lightning at the same time. Is that right? Or you can do either?
That's exactly how that works, yeah.
Ah, come on.
It's both. That just means you got to play Briar.
You would have to, yeah. Well, I know that I've got the goods for what I want to do here, so... Good Mark of Lightning.
Dante says, great pool plus weak opponent in the finals. Easy W for Zach. No,
now that is the kind of thing I'm here for. Thank you for that, Dante. Let's go.
I hope you guys are doing well. So the thing I realized, it was crazy. It happened in both the top 8 and the top 4. When I actually just, like... So another thing that happened against Brendan, right? So this was just a great start for me. I have the Heart of Ice, right? He's going first. He swings at me. I have the Arcane Barrier to prevent the Arcane. Fine, he Arsenals. We go to the next round. Then I just send a 10 damage Glacial Footsteps at him.
No dominate.
No dominate.
Yeah.
I just like swing for 10. And that puts him in a really weird spot.
Yeah, 10's a big number.
It's huge. So I think he blocked for 3 and took 7. And then sent like a big turn back at me. But like just starting there meant that I could go fatigue or just damage. And so he could never let off the gas.
Yeah.
Otherwise I could just send like another 8 at him.
Yeah.
And he's got a big problem at that point.
That's fascinating. It just starts so soon.
Huh. But all that to say, in all 4 of my games, you know, you're kind of playing the game early on, but there's something there with Oldham where it's like, if you just are committed to preventing as much damage as possible,
it can get there.
Because
in draft especially, right? You can get enough of those recurring tools, and the power level of the cards is a little bit higher, so you can actually make it work.
Well, a lot of people will use their best cards during the first cycles of the deck.
Yeah.
And so if on the second cycle, you can prevent damage by just pitching a card with the Earth, and then you can also put a card back. They're on weaker cards and a smaller hand just constantly.
All right, so I got a lot to say about this. Because this is the whole revolution that I've had about control decks. Also, the banter in chat is phenomenal, Dante. I would just like to repeat, sending back that Dante has lost 10 Soul Forge games in a row. Dante saying, don't expose me. It's so good. Guys, glad you're here. Okay, so there was an old interview or something where one of these New Zealanders said the Americans are very bad at playing into control. And I said, well, oh yeah? I'll attack with everything I've got to prove you wrong.
This aggression cannot stand.
And what that actually means, I would later find out by learning how to play into control a lot better, is that a control deck against an aggro deck, if the aggro deck is just playing... This is disgusting. What are you even doing? Why is it every time I look at your sealed pools, I'm like, how did this happen? Do you have two... Okay, anyway... So
I have 2 Ball Lightning, 2 Electrify Red, and I have 2 Earth Surges and a Weaver.
And some Birching. It's not a big deal.
But my equipment is Hoser Town.
And that is going to be the difference maker. So into control, the aggro deck has to do the following. Not, basically spend your time doing 80% turns, which is what an aggro deck can usually get away with to overcome a mid-range style approach, and just put out too much offense where they can't keep up. Control can keep up with that, and in a very good way. So you've got to actually plan for a longer game where you're able to put together 5-card plus turns that are doing tremendous amounts of damage, and then your other turns might be doing 40 to 50%. I finally realized that Bolton forced me to understand that more, and it really came down to, I don't understand why these lists are running energy potions or remembrance or whatnot, and then you kind of play the matchup enough where you understand that, oh, it's for the control match where you can plop this down and then have a giant couple of turns throughout the game. Because you got to think, you have to exhaust their hand of defense before you can do anything that matters. So your ultimate goal has to be putting together hands that are exhausting their defense and doing 15 plus damage, if you can. So there's different approaches, but for a really heavy aggro deck like Bolton, at least, that's what that is. And to your point, Zach, if people aren't doing that, and they're running through their first cycle and they're going 80%, 80%, 80%, 80%, and you relatively can keep up with that, then they go to the second cycle, now they're doing 50%, 50%, 50%, and they're done. They lose.
And then it's too much. Can't possibly win that game. Oh my goodness.
Adam, supposedly my order is shipped minutes after placing. That's correct. So we were ready. We're always ready on these kinds of days. Everything's packed up pretty much as soon as it comes in. It's just a queue that's going right now, and we'll make it happen.
let me tell you something, Steven.
Yeah, if it involves how good the sealed pool is, I'd like to hear it.
I mean, the hits just keep coming. You
I
know?
know, that's why I keep looking over there and I'm like, is this a draft deck?
My
You got Terra Sunder just sitting there on
goodness.
top of the pool.
Yeah,
there.
and I'm not playing it. So if you're playing Dallas this weekend, here's what you do. All right.
Do this.
Open your 6-packs. They're good, of course. They're going to have the good cards in them. And then play Briar. No, I'm just kidding. My first check, actually, I think Briar is the best hero in the limited format without seeing the pools, like what cards you actually get.
The best way to think of it, we said this before, all things being equal, ceteris paribus, of course. If everything is average, Briar is the best deck.
That's right.
If you have an average of everything, Briar is definitely
So,
the right one. If you have above average of some things, sometimes Briar is still better. If you have an insanely good Lexi, go. If you have an insanely good Oldhim, go. Maybe a very good Oldhim,
If you have a very good Oldhim, I think you can go. So you have to know where you're going. And my first clue is that I have these, literally, my equipment is bad. I got 2 Runaways and the Sutcliffe Suede Shoes. So if I play Runeblade, I can't play those. I also got 1 of the Ice Amulets, so that replacement equipment.
Yeah.
I got the old Buckler that's only playable in Guardian. And I got the Coat of Frost, which is playable in Guardian. So I could technically play like a Runaways, Coat of Frost, Rotten Old Buckler.
You could do the
Oldhim
dance.
pool.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking at my first check is just like, how good is my Briar pool? And my Briar pool is phenomenal for a lot of reasons. So key cards here. I have 2 Ball Lightnings. One's red, one's yellow. I also got 1 Entwine Lightning. And these are so good because non-attack, attack, swing the sword. The sword is worth 4 damage.
I think that's why Briar is the one to go with if all things are kind of middling, or if even all things are above average, or if all things are excellent, because that sequence alone is the chain of sealed for Tales of Aria. You have to answer that. Like, that's the standard.
I also got a Lightning Surge,
Pace.
red.
Yeah.
And red, Lightning Surge, red, and Twine Lightning are the ones you want, right?
Those are
0
the
for
red
4
ones, yeah.
with the potential for go again. I also got 2 red Electrify. So technically...
Zach.
I know, it's really good. Technically, this could say... these would all be good in Briar, as an example. Now, on the... not Briar, on the obviously good in Briar, but in Lexi, I only got 1 red Heaven's Claws, and then I got a blue, and then a blue Shock Striker.
Yeah.
So that's not... If these were all red...
So look at me over here, right? So I've got 2 yellow Heaven's Claws, 2 red Shock Strikers, blue Heaven's Claws, and a Weave Lightning.
And you got 2 yellow Electrify.
Yeah, puts me
And
on
a yellow ball lightning.
So and this yellow Entwine, I had this. I'm not convinced on this. I would do this in Briar probably just because Go Again's so good.
Absolutely.
I would not do this in Lexi.
I totally agree with you on that.
Same with the Lightning Surge. It's okay.
So red Heaven's Claws probably gets in the deck. Blue might, just because it blocks for 3, and it's a lightning card. So we'll see. I also got red Lightning Press. Important to note. I'll read this card for you because I didn't do this on Saturday. Target attack action card with cost 1 or less gains +3. With cost 1 or less, I let my opponent leave the air conditioning on. That's what actually happened.
It's fine. Actually, it's not. Oh, it's raining like crazy outside.
Really?
Yeah, it's not.
We need windows in here.
It doesn't come through on the sound. I checked the other day, so you can keep talking.
Wow. So I let my friend and opponent, Zach, play, not me, the other Zach, I'm not third personing this, play a Lightning Press on a 2-cost attack, which is how I lost the game, which we later discovered doesn't work. But it's important to read the cards when you're playing. When you're in a... when you're in a game, just don't feel bad about taking the time to read the cards if you're not 100% sure what they're doing. Or like your opponent might move quickly, and you just have to be comfortable saying, hey, can you read that card to me? Or can I see that card sort of situation. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So then, when I'm evaluating Briar, of course, the other element I'm looking at is Earth.
That's the other element. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude. Look at this pool. You're not ready for this. I'm about to just dunk on you. So I got a red...
I am ready for that.
I got a red Earthlore Surge, which is one of the best Earth cards in the pool.
It's one of the best cards in Tales of Aria.
I got a yellow, highly playable. I got a red Weave Earth, which is the one you want. I would kill to have a Plume of the Evergrowth here.
Yeah.
Because being able to pay 3 to get a free pump is so good.
Hurt me still.
Yeah. Anyways, and then a red Sotomaro. That could have been any color. I would prefer a blue. More resources, but...
Let me show you my comparable Earth pool. And this is an example.
This is a good exercise.
Example of what can go wrong in Sealed. So here's my Earth pool. And Jiminy Rickett with some comments here. Hey, well, let me address those after we get done with this sealed thing, because I would like to talk about that. It can be very frustrating when you don't feel like you can get better at Flesh and Blood and you're kind of stuck on a wall. So we'll chat that out for you here in just a second. So let's look at this. Blue Earthlore Surge is the worst version of that card.
Yep.
Blue Burgeoning is, I would say, relatively unplayable.
That's at 2 for 5 out of
It's
Arsenal.
fine. Blue, you're right. You're right. Blocks for 2 though, and I hate. That.
I came around on Burgeoning and Sealed like heavily.
I had a lot played against me.
Yeah, red is so good.
Blue Weave Earth. It's the worst version of Weave Earth.
It's fine.
Blue Sotomaro
Yeah,
is
this is not
fine.
good, man.
Summerwood Shelter. That's a fine
Some
card.
people play that card.
But it's a +3 is not really where you want that. You want that in red. Red Autumn's Touch, that's good, and a blue Breakground.
Now, I'll tell you what that says.
Potatoes or Oldham.
That's an Oldham Earth Pool.
Yeah.
Unquestionably. Now look at mine compared to
Now, it's not a good Oldham Earth Pool, but it is an Oldham Earth Pool.
you're trying to get to the 12 plus blues in Oldham.
You know, people say that. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced.
All right.
Why is it so important? Just so you can swing a hammer for 3 or so you can react and do the 2 prevent?
Yes.
Why not just use a card that blocks for 3 at that point? You know.
Well, because you're not losing the card.
Right.
You know, mileage may vary.
But like, yeah, exactly. Mileage does vary when I try to do
Here's what I got though. I'm not done with Earth yet. Ready for
I'm
this?
not done yet.
We're not done yet. I got red Burgeoning. 2 for 7 from Arsenal. We like that stock. I got yellow Burgeoning. 2 for 6. I also got a red Evergreen.
I hate it.
3 for 7.
What is wrong with you? Why?
I also got a yellow Breakground, so 3 for 6.
Is all.
But then I got blue Autumn's Touch, which if you're gonna get blue, that's the one to get.
Make it stop.
Because it also blocks for 3, right?
This is a constructed deck.
It's not that bad. Okay, so this is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Show me
6,
the Briar
7, 8, 9,
cards.
10, 11, 12,
You could
13,
run
14,
this
15,
as a
16,
deck,
17,
and I
18.
think I would.
There's
lose.
18 cards here I would absolutely play in Briar.
Yeah.
Before I've even looked at my
Show me the
cost
Briar
over
cards.
here.
They got to be bad, right?
All right, check this out. You ready?
Yeah.
And I've currently got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-attacks.
Yeah.
So that's the weakest stat here.
Unplayable.
All right, so first we got a blue Bramble Spark.
Okay.
Then we got another one.
Yeah, that's a fine blue.
Then we got a yellow.
Yeah, that's good.
Then we got a red.
Oh, just stop. I'm going to burn this table to the ground.
And then let's let the hits keep on coming. I got a red Vela Flash,
Oh, stop.
which is amazing because you play it, then you can play a 9-attack, then you can swing a sword, of course. I got a yellow Vela Flash.
Vela Flash is a great card here.
I got a red Arcanic Shockwave with a ton of good lightning. I got a blue, so that's fine.
That's fine. You pitch it. You maybe do one cheeky at the end.
I got a red Stir the Wild
Oh,
One.
stop. That's a great one.
And then I got a red Singeing Steelblade. And then I got a yellow Sigil of Suffering, which is very playable. Then technically on the outskirts here, not quite there yet. Red Rights of Replenishment, that's a card I came around on. It's a 2 for 6.
It's 6.
It's just
That's all you need.
That's
It's
all
a 2
you
for
need
6.
now,
Doesn't matter.
I technically have a yellow. I don't know if I'll play it. I also have 3 copies of Inspire Lightning. 2 red, 1 yellow. I'm not super high on this card.
I actually like 1 yellow. I like to pitch that and then maybe do the old snipe attack.
It is non-attack, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have the embodiments, it can block for a good amount. But the problem I always have with this card is it doesn't have Go Again. And so you have to have 3 cards to play it.
I'd never run more than 1.
Yeah, it's a 3-card card, and it doesn't create any embodiments. So I only put these in at the very end if I just don't have... maybe
that will not
here.
be an issue for you, I assume.
Yeah, because we're not 100% done yet. We're not done yet. Then when I look at my total count, right, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's a good
non-attacks, which is solid. I technically have a yellow and blue Invigorate I could play.
Mm-hmm. They kind of sub in your non-attack sponge. Like, I need a little bit more non-attack here. Invigorate's a fine way to get that done. Yeah.
But before I even figure what else goes in, right, these are all the cards I know I'm playing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30. Don't even need to think about
Deck is built.
Now, 10 non-attack actions, we'll see. I'll play it and see if it's enough or not. I am helped along a little bit by these boots.
It is, though. Yeah. The only thing you're missing is Deep Blue Mark of Lightning. If you had Deep Blue Mark of Lightning, this is unbeatable.
Well, and Ever Plume.
Yeah, Plume with the
any
Ever,
number of those cards would make this go from 0, it would go from a 7 out of 10. This is probably a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
The equipment being there, and the equipment are onboard permanent effects that you always get. So they're very valuable.
Very valuable. Did you draft equipment? Yeah, you drafted Heart of Ice earlier.
Yeah, of course. And then round 2, I opened a Plume, so I drafted that immediately.
Jonathan LeChance, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Just want to say you guys are the best to watch for Flesh and Blood TCG. I'm learning every time, and I think you're 1,000 times better than those Arsenal Pass guys.
I have a feeling that was made up.
You don't think he said that?
No, I don't. Not 1 ounce.
I guess you can read the comment.
He did say that. No, I'm just kidding.
I love it. It's good to be back in the game, you know? It's good to be back in the space. I feel like, you know, I used to get to make fun a little bit of Dan Dargenio and Spags and those guys when I was in the Netrunner community.
Now there's a clear other
I'm just
person group we can make fun of.
This is what these games are so good at, is like the connection of, you know, light taunts and winning and losing at games. That's great. Okay, so we've seen my Earth Bowl, speaking of losing at games. So
yeah, what are you working with here?
We know that Oldhim is a possibility. I know this lightning pool is pretty strong. You know, it's not Zach strong, but it's okay.
You have, hold on, 13 lightning? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty good amount. I got very little Earth.
Hold on, I just want to count mine.
And then,
so I have 7. You have almost double the lightning cards I do.
Now, we got to look at, though, Blue Lightning Press, I'm not writing home about that. Yellow Flash is fine. Particularly for Briar, but we know that the Earth Pool is not taking us in a Briar direction, but we might end up there anyway.
Read Flash to me real quick.
Next action card with cost 1 or greater, gains go again.
Okay.
So you can use it on arrows, but it's just awkward and clunky given that you can only load once. And then Entwined Lightning Yellow and Lightning Surge Yellow are just coming in for 3.
Yeah.
Those are relatively fine, but they're kind of the 29th, 30th area for me. So then I'm going to look at my ice cards. It's kind of the next phase. See where this goes.
Yeah, because that pool doesn't scream Briar to me, but it could easily be Lexi. Like this is the 2 yellow Heaven's Claws and 2 red Shock Strikers.
Yeah, it kind of gives you the play there, doesn't it? So I'm going to scoot into your space.
And the red Weave Lightnings. Yeah, feel free. Use the whole table.
All right, so these are my stronger cards. Now I do love seeing this red Weave Ice. That puts me again in a Lexi mindset.
Yeah, because that's it's playable in Oldhim.
It is.
9 would dominate on, or +3 would dominate on something is definitely reasonable.
Now we do have a red and yellow icing counter. I've come around a little bit on this card, particularly in Lexi, where you can flip up a lightning and play the icing counter, and then play the lightning like Electrify, and then play an arrow.
Yeah,
that's a really good turn.
Yeah, because you're basically on the red one coming in for 6. They already. If you flip the lightning, they're coming in for 6, and if it hits, they get a frost token.
Yep.
And you can wait to see what happens there, since it has go again, to play like, I don't know, Winter's Bite. Like yes. Then that starts the stacks on stacks, right?
You can do some stacks on stack stuff. These Winter Bite in red, it's the worst color for this card for me. I would take this in blue and yellow over red every day of the week. Absolutely. Nobody's paying it anyway. They're losing a card no matter what.
Yeah, unless the card they're losing is a blue, and they just don't want to lose it. Also, hey, quick segue. Chris saying, are there any resources you guys recommend for learning the strategy behind this game? I understand how to play it, but not how to win.
Good. So we actually, I think it's going to be tomorrow, we're going to post the first of a series that we're going to start called Fab Foundations. And this is us approaching the game from you know how to play and you are not yet a master, right? So like Brendan and Dante don't need to watch the Fab Foundation series. But it's basically the year plus worth of stuff that we've learned to go from beginning understanding. It's not about the rules, it's about the concepts and the theory behind the game to take you to that higher level of play. And you know, we have a lot of hilarious things to say about Arsenal Pass. I found those videos incredibly enlightening, watching those play out, particularly, you know, Hayden and Brendan, watching them play those decks, talking through concepts, evaluating cards. That was really helpful for me. So it's nice. That's a good resource too. They're very good at that kind of mid-level going to expert level. Like that's a really good place to start seeing how that expert play actually happens. All right, so let's look at this ice pool. So I've got 4 of what I would consider the ice go again cards that Lexi is fairly nicely into. We can slap this in the arsenal, flip it over, give a frostbite, play it out, and then do something else with your turn, usually shoot an arrow, etc. I love seeing Polar Blast of any kind at this point. Any of these arsenal draw cards are all good. Polar Blast probably not necessarily the best. Electrify is clearly the best one of these. But anything that we can flip, give a frostbite, replaces itself, always will pay for itself at 1, I'm into. Chill to the Bone is fine. And actually red is pretty strong. Because 3 frostbites It's a different world than 1.
Untenable. They're going to have to block.
So being able to flip this up for 1 Frostbite, send it over, they've got to block the next attack. And then we've got a blue Frostfang, which is really just going to be a resource card. A 2 for 3 with that hit effect is absolutely awful as far as value. And then red Entwine Ice, the worst of the Entwine cards, but sometimes you find space for it. You're never happy when you do, but you can technically find space for this card at red. A 5 dominate at red can actually be a weird thing that's relevant for you. Well, especially off of a weave or off of some kind of a pump, it can actually do some damage.
I think in Lexi, even just being able to reveal a lightning from Arsenal and then play a 5 with Go Again from hand.
Yeah.
Dominate is just a bonus there.
Yeah, it is kind of a bonus.
And if you have something like this Weave Lightning, which is a great pairing with it, right? 0 for Weave Lightning. If you fuse that Entwine Ice, now it's going to be an 8 with Go Again and Dominate.
Yeah, super solid.
That's a pretty sweet turn.
I've come around on it quite a bit. So we've got this blue icing counter. Even a 2 for 4 here on the blue icing counter is fine. 2 for 5 is certainly fine, and the 2 for 6 is respectable too. So
a respectable lightning ice is your best set of cards here.
Yeah, and I don't think that this doesn't scream Oldhim to me. These are not blue. There's not enough blue just generally here. To your point, Zach, that I was of course arguing with a minute ago. So
if you didn't, then it's not that exciting.
This is looking pretty Lexi here. Now, of these cards, tell me this. This is something I need to get better at. Which of these you think are definitely getting played in a Lexi deck?
Definitely?
Which ones are not, I guess, is maybe better. I have this stack of questionable cards, and then we've got resources that we'll have to worry with at some point, although sometimes you just don't care that much.
So, given the number of lightning cards that you have, which is high, I would be playing all of your lightning attacks.
Yeah, me too.
And even like...
You playing the Electrifies, of course.
Yeah.
You're playing the Weave Lightning.
And the Weave Lightning's going in. Yellow Entwine Lightning is fine. It's fine. This is better.
Yeah.
Yellow Lightning Surge, like...
Yeah.
It depends on how many non-arrow attacks you have, but you have a lot of them.
You can have a... Yeah, you could have a... Because, you could also do weird stuff, right? Like, you're talking... I know what you're talking about here. Knowing how your brain works, you're thinking, flip this up for Go Again, play an attack from hand, play this from Arsenal, shoot an arrow.
Absolutely.
That's your 3
Yeah, and
attack.
3 attack hand is, relevant.
That's where the bread is buttered.
Blue Lightning Press is on the maybe list for me.
I don't know, unless I need a blue.
It only needs... If you need a blue and you need a lightning card, I don't know what your arrows look like yet, so that's going to be a question mark. Flash is fine, too. So that would also be in my maybe list. Weave Ice, great. Again, any attack here for me, I'm playing.
Yeah, Entwine's good there.
Frostfang is close.
It's going to be on the edge, and we'll have to look at the resource curve. But Lexi, a lot of times in these kinds of builds, wants a blue resource curve because you're playing a 1-cost Heaven's Claws or Shock Striker into a 2-cost Load and Shoot. And
it's if it were just generically, if it were yellow, I like it a lot more. Obviously, being at 4 with this ability is like super good.
Yeah,
like just really good.
It would be great.
And
I
then
think I play all of those.
These are probably in. Any of these you can flip from Arsenal, get the ice token, and play, and still, have your turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the lowest on my list.
Yeah.
Out of this pile.
I'm with you on that. Okay, well then let's look at. We've also got these Invigorates. We can just think about. Lexi likes them a little bit more.
If you're fusing, the red and yellow are so playable. And you have a ton of element cards. Like, how many ice do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Doesn't count.
9.
3, 4, 5.
9 fusies.
So you've got 9 and then 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lightning that are very playable. Like, that's awesome. So Invigorate is very appealing.
Okay, so now let's look at the arrows. Let's slide this down. What do you think? We got some room, yeah.
You can go up if you want.
Those guys go up there. We'll just put that up there. Okay. So then let's look at our arrows. I'm just going to separate out into my colors here. Now, what I love to see...
How many Chilling Iceman reds do you have? Oh, yeah, there's yellow. Red and yellow. Red and yellow.
We got a blue as well. So we've got the suite of Chilling Ice Veins. I don't mind that. Any of them are good. The blue is obviously going to be a resource. Most of the time, blocked for 3. It's fine. Blizzard Bolt is here. Dazzling Crescendo is my least. It depends on the build, but it's fine at 3 with
not
Go
so
Again.
dazzling.
Cold Wave is good.
Yeah.
I mean, just as a 1 for 5 is fine. Another red. We've got a Blizzard Bolt. We've got some Buzz Bolts. We've got a red and blue Overflex.
Yeah, I like the red a lot. The blue's fine.
Which can matter. We've got a red Snapshot, which is fine. And then we've got 2 yellow Frazzles. I love Frazzle and Buzz in particular.
So it's kind of interesting because like 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. You're at 20. Let's just say these Invigorates find their way. You're at 22 before you even look at arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And like, let's say you played this.
Yeah, let's say we play the red Overflex here.
So now you're at 23. So you only need 7 arrows here.
Unless we start to look at cutting, you know. But
Yeah.
like if I'm being real, I'm probably like, as far as like arrows I want to play,
Yeah.
yellow Flakeout's fine. Snapshot can be fine. Don't know if it is
think red's
worth,
fine-ish.
but it's fine there. Crescendo 0 for 4 is probably okay. And you've got the blues and yellows. So these are the ones that I would consider just for resource curve reasons.
Yeah, because you only got 3 blues in your element stack.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a lot of success with Invigorate, actually, Tony. Did you play Invigorate in your sealed pool on Saturday? Were you on Briar?
I didn't have. I will still play in Briar.
Yeah.
Like a red non-attack action.
Yeah, that's pretty strong in Briar.
Just non-attack.
Yeah.
And then it being +4 if you fuse, like Arcanic, whatever that is, Arcanic Shockwave, being an 8 with an arcane damage off of essentially a 3-card hand because they're all 0 cost stuff. Super good.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so
yeah, and if Invigorate means that you get to swing the sword, it's now an 8 damage card.
it's a phenomenal card in that situation. Yep. Okay, so here's all the things that we want to play. So I'm going to show you at least how I've been doing this for the next stage of this game. I'm going to put the Invigorates over here as options, and we might fill this in. So let me just pick all these up and kind of see where we are on money. And that'll help me decide, because a lot of these Lexi turns are really powered by a blue card. That's just the way it is. So let's go red, yellow.
Tony asking, how are you attacking with an attack action and your weapon and playing Invigorate? So it's pretty simple, actually. So say you play Invigorate, and then you play like Bramble Spark, and then you play Arcanic Shockwave. It has Go Again because you played 2 non-attack actions. And if you fused it with Lightning card, right, now it's getting plus from Invigorate, depending on what you had in hand and how it went. And then that's the card that you fuse with that you can pitch to swing the sword. So that's pretty simple. That's without
a 5-card hand. It can go into.
That's without an arsenal card. Yeah. So if you started with an arsenal card, it can get even crazier because like I've had turns where you Bramble, fuse it, then you play an Invigorate, then you play an attack, fuse it. It gets plus from the Bramble, plus from the Invigorate, and also you have Go Again, and you can swing the sword.
Yeah, it happens literally constantly. Yeah, it was happening all the time on Saturday.
I'll put it to the test here. I have Invigorate in my Briar deck.
So, what do we do on the resource curve here?
How many 1-cost arrows do you actually have?
Good question.
Tony, if it's 1 in 100, I just must be very lucky because it happens a lot.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 arrows, 1 cost. 8 1-cost arrows.
Hold on.
And then we've got 1, 2, 2 0-cost arrows.
Okay. So
and we're over budget here too. So like things that we could do is we could swap in. We've got some blues that block for 3, so we could try to basically like shore up our weakness there.
And if you have pumps on deck, which you do, those blue arrows aren't like unplayable.
So I could swap, for instance. I think yellow flake out is probably one of the weakest of the arrows. Blizzard is fine. That's where we could actually start looking at. So how critical is a card like Lightning Surge?
Yep, because you have a ton of lightning cards, so it's not hyper critical.
It's like, okay, let's think about that. A yellow Icy Encounter? Could be. I'm leaving these yellow Frazzles in. I think the Frazzle effect is excellent, and the Buzzbolt effect is excellent. So I like these cards. And Yellow Chilling Vein isn't going anywhere. Blizzard Bolt's possible, Fleek Out's possible, Lightning Surge is possible here. We could also cut some of our red non-attack ice cards. That's a consideration, but I'm not particularly excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also on Lexi.
How many blues before you do anything are you at? 3?
3 currently, yeah.
Let me look at your curve.
And this...
You definitely need more blues.
This is probably like the order of things for me on the yellows. I think yellow icy is probably the lowest.
You didn't get a deep blue, did you?
No deep blue. So I'm just going to side these in right off the bat. I'm going to go to 6 blues here. We can bring in the Frostfang. We can bring in the Overflex. It's a +2 is fine. The other thing we can bring is Lightning. I don't like Blue Lightning Press at all. In fact, just none. Just absolutely none. And that's that. So those are our options. I think we probably sit tight at 6.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically playing the max number of blues that are playable in your deck.
Blue Frostfang is just so bad. I'm not convinced on that.
Yeah, we can try it and see. You have a lot of yellows too. So and you have like your yellows are an interesting philosophy. Like Electrify is kind of a cheat code.
It's true. All right, how many we got here? See, this is a lot of reds. 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 15 reds. So half the deck is red. You're going to have some potato hands with that. 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 29. So this is 30 here. We're cutting all of these yellows.
I think we should try it. And
Just try it right there.
See how your resource curve
Okay, half your cards are red. The other ones are...
I don't have enough experience with Lexi to really speak. You know.
Carbocast, I would not do Frostfang over Blizzard Bolt just because the 3 block versus the 2 block. And Blizzard can actually get you... I mean, Blizzard at 1 for 3, Frostfang at 2 for 3.
Well, Blizzard can also be 1 for 4.
Yep. Be 1 for 4. It also can take advantage of the Overflex pump. I think those are stronger considerations for sure. Paul, yeah, Snapshot's not great, but it's still a 0 for 4 arrow, 0 for 5 off of Shiver.
And the 0 when you're on such a low resource curve is going to be helpful.
It can certainly matter.
Because it can turn a red hand into at least you get to send a 6 damage attack over at me. Like, it's really a 0 for 6.
6?
Is it starts at 5 or 4?
No, it starts at 4.
So a 0 for 5.
Yeah, it's a 0 for 5. And funnily enough, the fusibility can matter quite a bit. There's a number of hands that, like Standard Ranger, just one more load off the bow is going to help, especially if you've got 2 zeros in hand. It's going to happen.
I got you the requisite tokens.
Thanks.
Actually,
put these coppers in.
The crowd loves them. Hello, Briar, my old friend.
Hello, Briar, my old friend. How'd we do on space today? We did pretty good. These beautiful copper sleeves. I like how many attacks I have here in the elements. Very good.
Yeah. It's funny. One of the biggest issues with the Rangers, they're inconsistent in terms of being able to put out damage. So that's why having those elemental attacks is so helpful.
It's so helpful.
You end a turn with a lightning in arsenal, draw 2 attacks. Like you can play this 2 attacks straight out of hand a lot of times.
It's really funny that even in construction we were testing Azalea, it was like, well, the goal here is to fit as many non-arrow attacks in as possible.
Yeah, because you got to do something.
That's right. You don't want to have a turn where you're all arrows or all non-attacks. So at least some amount of attacks is better than pumps sometimes.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this resource curve pans out.
Well, if it pans out nicely, it'll be very strong.
Tyler saying, finally catching a fab live stream on my hour-plus commute to work. Weird hearing you guys' voices not in 2 times speed.
Oh, that's funny. That's super funny.
Nathaniel's saying the copper sleeves make me feel good about myself because I have some gold sleeves just like that.
I've got gold ones too.
I hated them at first, but I've come around to them, and now you have something similar.
They're great. No, they're great. I love them. They look a lot better in person too. Some people comment about that on Sealed Saturday. Actually, they're like, these are the sleeves that everyone's dogging you about. These look good. Yeah, I got taste. What of it?
Remember those old Matrix sleeves that Will had?
Matrix.
They're like green with like the, you don't remember that? It's not actually Matrix.
Like the movie The Matrix?
Yeah, you know when he's viewing everything as code?
Yeah.
It's like a green. And so there was shiny sleeves with like, it wasn't code, but it was like these, like it looked like that, you know?
They had like numbers and stuff on them?
No.
Like,
but it was like lines, like shiny foil lines going all down the sleeves in green.
I don't remember that at all. I didn't play nearly as much against Will as you.
They were obnoxious.
You guys bashed your heads against each other constantly.
Yeah. He was my nemesis in some ways.
Oop. Okay, so going into this game, what am I thinking? I'm thinking you only got the boots. That's fine. I'm also thinking I want to go first, try to land a dominate early. It's a fine turn.
Larry's saying that's how code works, actually. Nathaniel, those sleeves sound amazing. Where can I get them? That was the 90s. Who knows?
The problem with Briar 2 is like you just...
I have them on a Star Wars TCG deck. I'll bring it at some point. I just what?
I think the problem with Briar... So I'm going to have to find ways to block with one card out of hand. Ideally, and then have a fuse turn where I load an arrow, fuse a card, fuse the arrow, shoot it, hopefully with the disabling effect, like frostbite, or just extra damage. It's fine. Arsenal that card and then get into the swing of 5-card hands. I just have to hope that by the time I'm in that 5-card cycle, you do not have a Bugatti turn.
I'm on a potato sandwich.
You got to be on a potato sandwich at that point. Yeah.
Also worth mentioning. So I saw. We got the kit in the other day that has the Rosetta Thorn cold foil. Looks incredible in cold foil.
Are cool, man.
You can imagine. But I'm going to use that as an opportunity to say, if you're not part of our Discord League on Tuesday nights, Wednesday's Ashes.
Yeah.
We have
you really should be.
a webcam Discord League. It's super, like the people there are super awesome, super laid back. And all the prizes are random. Right? So I was telling someone about it this weekend. They had no idea that that's how it worked. So the playmats, the cold foils, the promos, the foil heroes, etc. It's all just randomly. When you sign up, and if you play at least 3 of the 4 games in every month, or in a month, you will get a random prize from that month's Armory kit. Nick saying, you guys ever currently play Netrunner? It's always a game I've wanted to try. So we played on stream.
You should
not
absolutely
that long ago.
try it. It's so good.
There's like a starter pack that Nisei's doing that's a really great place to start. One of the best games of all time. Even Steven?
Even Steven.
It's even.
Let's talk through our turns a little bit. What do you think?
All right,
if Jiminy's still out there, let's talk through some turns and explain why we are doing what we're doing. Although our visceral childhood rivalry will create issues for that.
It's all right.
Roll up. Wait, did you?
Even.
All right, I'm going first. Yeah. Interesting.
Why did you choose to go first?
So ideally, I would draw like a pump dominate arrow with Shiver.
Yep.
That's ideal. I have most of those pieces here aside from the arrow. So I drew like the Weave Ice. However, our key include in Twine Ice is also in hand with Dominate and a Fuse card. So
would you look at that?
I actually will be able to dominate pretty significantly here.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That sends a red Shock Striker down to kind of kick off my second cycle of my deck, which is great. So this is the kind of card that if I can pitch like a red early, that's really nice. That we're not going to get there. But you should be thinking about it anyway.
Yeah, but if you're not going to get there, then if you can preserve that card to put in Arsenal, it's super good.
Yeah.
Which you can. You can play this, fuse with the ice card, and then pitch the ice card to play in Twine Ice.
Could do that.
Yeah.
And then put the Shock Striker in, which is probably better.
Yeah, because this also gives Dominate, right?
It does.
Yeah.
If we were in Monarch, I would pitch this. But with Tales of Aria, I think we're pitching this. Maybe. No, we can't pitch that. We gotta fuse this.
No, this gets Dominate when you fuse.
You got to fuse
either
this.
Fused. I got it.
So we don't have a choice. Zach was bamboozling.
Shock Striker to the bottom.
There's only one option here. So we're going to play, and Dominate on the first turn is just good because like they don't get to filter their hand, you just get some damage in. Next element card is +3. Here's an Entwine Ice. I'm going to pay for that with this red Shock Striker. And then I'm going to fuse it with a blue Polar Blast. This is a good card to have in Arsenal. Great card to have in Arsenal.
Yeah, truly.
Fuse against Dominate, fuse against Dominate. So 8 damage Dominate attack coming at you.
All right. I can only block 1 card, so I'll block for 3 and take 5. And you start with a 5-point lead.
5-point lead and an Arsenal card. That is about the best it can go for me.
It is good value.
Mutton Chop, we are doing those videos. Kind of. We're doing a little bit more of an educational series. It's going to start releasing tomorrow called Fab Foundations.
All right, you ready to party?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Blue Bramble Spark. Red Ball Lightning. Doing 1 Arcane because of Bramble Spark, but it's actually 2 because of the ability. So I'll gain an embodiment token. And then 3 damage attack coming at you. And if it hits, it does an extra damage.
Right. So let me show you guys what I'm working with. We know we've got the Polar Blast coming in. It's going to cost me 1, but I'm going to replace that card. So we talk about this in this video series that's coming up, but the game of Flesh and Blood, there's not really offense and defense. It's like one unified consideration throughout the entire course of the game. You think like how to defend, how to attack. They're so linked together that it's just how to play the game. So like this hand in a vacuum, what I'm looking at this hand doing, just forget about the Arsenal card for now. It's likely going to have Dominate, but forget about it for now. So let's say we pitch this yellow Ball Lightning. We want to play the Ball Lightnings. Oh my gosh, this card's so good and limited, but let's not get trapped in the need to play that because we're also set up a red Shock Striker, yellow Ball Lightning turn on our second cycle. But we play Weave Lightning for +3. We load and shoot Chilling Ice Vein, coming in at 8, fusing with Chill to the Bone, and giving it Dominate. So 8, Zach has to discard a card, essentially. If it already has Dominate from Polar Blast going off, then Chill to the Bone is just... Shiver's just going to give it +1. So now we're looking at 9 with Dominate, going to force Zach to lose a card. It's going to put Chill to the Bone in the arsenal. That's going to be a strong flip-up Frostbite, have to block the next turn as well. So this is a great, what we call pivot moment, where I can start to kind of take over the tempo of this game. However, Zach has presented the one thing you don't want to see, which is a Ball Lightning turn, especially at red. So if I'm looking at a 3 go again, that's actually hitting for 4. Then he's going to get another Embodiment of Earth token going to 2. Then he's going to potentially play another card with go again. And if he's really got the Bugatti stuff, he's going to swing the sword as well. So I'm looking at probably Embodiment of Earth 3 here, if all of these things hit. And then is my Dominate Chilling Ice Vein going to be worth 1 non-attack from hand? It's still going to hit, lose another non-attack or an attack from hand. It's still good enough for me to think that I'm just going to eat this attack and try to not lose the tempo game here, because what happens, what do I block with here, right? The only option I have to block with really is this Chilling Ice Vein at 3/3. Otherwise, I'm really not doing much. So in that vein, it's like, well, I'm just not going to block.
Yeah.
And so I've just got to hope that the damage he's about to put out is not sufficient enough for this return hand to lose me this cycle.
That's a good return. Now, I will walk you through what I was thinking, right? So anytime I can get arcane damage on the Ball Lightning, it's good value.
Absolutely, you must. Yeah,
it's just good value.
Yeah.
And I actually have a few lines because this Ball Lightning has go again. So I could just swing the sword, right? For 2 and 2. Depending on what you do, will change some things. Another option I have is, regardless of what you do here, let's say you don't block, I have this red Lightning Press. So I can actually make this worth an extra 1 on Ball Lightning. Technically.
Kind of?
Not really.
Not really at all.
Not really, no.
It's just a 7 damage
so
attack.
It would come in at 7. You've already taken 2. And that can finish with the sword. So then that's a pretty good turn.
So you're looking at, and this is kind of what Briar does, right? So you've already done 2. You would be outputting 7 more, so you're at 9. And then your sword is 10, 11, 12, 13. So you've done more than half of my health in a single turn.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's okay. Like sometimes I have to just take that, because the other consideration here is that yes, I take a ton of damage, but Zach's also going into his next turn with no arsenal. So it allows me to take control of this game in a really big way. It's just scary to hit 7 health on the first exchange, but it might be right.
Yeah,
it might be right. I think given my hand, I have to make it right. It has to be right. Yeah,
we'll find out.
I don't block that.
Okay, I will go ahead and lightning press to go up to 6.
You got me.
So it's gonna hit for 7.
You're hitting me for 7.
I get another embodiment, and then I'm gonna go ahead and swing the sword. Now my consideration there was like, I could not lightning press, and I could swing the sword, and I could put a card in arsenal,
right?
Which would be good, but I feel like now that you're down to 11. Hitting another 4 on you and getting you at 7. 7's like a lethal number.
That's crazy amount.
So if you can't put up 15 next round, and I'm looking at my hand, I might have lethal.
Yeah.
Even just like I have a 7 damage earth attack. So you're gonna have to start blocking if you don't cover any of this up.
You're right. I know I've got you on. So I'm taking 2 and 2. Yeah. So let's see if it works out. So let's go to 7. And now you're in a game, right? And you're not super confident. You haven't done this a lot, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just getting completely wrecked. But maybe not. All right, let's use Lexi's ability. Let's flip up this ice card to give you a frostbite token. Then let's go ahead and pitch. Now we could try a YOLO move, but we're not. No, there's no good YOLO move there. Play out the Polar Blast. Zach, pay 1, or my next attack is dominate, and I get to draw a card.
Now, knowing exactly what's in your hand. And you get to draw a card, so that is interesting.
It is.
But knowing exactly what's in your hand, against these ice things, right, it's like, it can be tempting even here to pay 1 to prevent you from getting dominated. But I know you can get dominated on your bow.
Yeah.
So really, I'm paying 1 to prevent a damage. Is how I'm evaluating this.
Never worth it.
So I'm not going to do it.
Never do it. No.
I can't pitch a card for 1 value.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever pay out Polar Blast. Almost never. Okay, and then we will do Weave Lightning. And then we're sticking to the plan. We're going to pay 1 for Shiver. Throw Chilling Ice Vein in. And then we now need 1 to, we're going to give it Dominate. Now, there's a case to be made just shoot 9 here, but I like Ice Vein on Dominate a lot because it's one of these cards that removes the downside of Dominate by pulling a card anyway.
Yeah.
So forcing some damage through here is pretty strong. I did draw this yellow Buzzbolt here, and it's going to be what I have to use to pay for this attack because Chill to the Bone is the fuse card that I need. So not even a question there. So this, if we get to second cycle, guys, we're looking good here. We won't. Chilling Ice Vein, we're going to fuse it with this Chill to the Bone. So that's now going to be an 8 damage Dominate attack. If it hits, or whenever an attack deals damage, discard a card unless they pay 1. Now, if Zach does block this, and I crack Mark of Lightning, that's 2 discards.
Which is why I can't block it.
Now, you probably pitch a yellow and pay that off twice.
Yeah.
Probably. But maybe you don't.
If you're going to do it. So it's coming in for 8. And I have to look here at 7. I'm going to lose a card.
Oh, sorry. It already does have Dominate, so it's coming in for 9.
9. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you got Dominate from the other thing.
Yep.
So 9.
Can only Mark a Lightning if he blocks.
And then I've got a 3-card hand.
You miss a lot when you actually talk through turns.
You do.
It's like actually harder.
Absolutely.
It's more confusing. You're like, I'm kind of talk the whole time. But this is a Nathaniel, I did not forget to draw. I drew the yellow Buzzbolt. So this is one of those things where, like, if Zach just takes 9, he's going to 6. And so now we're like 7 to 6. He loses a card from hand, likely. He's got a Frostbite token. He doesn't have an arsenal. And I know I'm coming in with a must block 3 Frostbite Chill to the Bone attack next turn. So it's looking really good, actually.
I won't block.
All right, take 9.
5.
Discard a card or pay 1.
Yeah, I will pay
Always
1.
pay 1.
Here.
Okay. And then we arsenal here. And we don't want to forget our Honing Hood, too. There could be some plays with this coming up. 6 to 7. Here we go. Oh, that is just wonderful.
All right, I'm gonna play a Vela Flash. It's gonna cost me 2 because it's Frostbite.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fuse it with a red Electrify.
Okay.
4 coming at you.
Now you can play that Electrify as an instant.
I can. So if you don't,
Can I read that?
Yep.
Next time attack hits a hero, so it would apply to Vela Flash itself, and it would be an extra 3 damage. So this is how you lose a game if you're not paying attention, basically.
You're like, no block.
So the thing that we know is going to happen is Zach's going to pay the 1. He has 2 options, right? Yeah, he has 1 option. If he plays the Electrify, he can't swing the sword.
Yep.
We do know that. So this is actually a 7 damage play. We can't lose the game like that. We refuse. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our options here. Oof. How fascinating is this? Okay. All right. So we've got a block. If we block, you swing in for 2 with the sword, and Electrify goes to Arsenal, which means this next turn needs to hit it.
I don't have Gogan.
Right on. Thank you. Now let's look at this. So this is all very fascinating, especially with Marco Lightning Online. We're in a very good spot here. So we need to block this card, and there's a number of options to do this. So what's going through my head right now is probably flip up Chill to the Bone for a Frostbite. That might not be the right play, but we'll run it back. Play Chill to the Bone. Use Honing Hood. Dazzling Crescendo into Arsenal. Play it out for 0. Still haven't needed to pitch a card. Fuse with the Electrify for go again. So that's essentially, you can do a 4 damage Dominate or a 5 damage attack there. Then we pitch the Electrify, put the Snapshot in for 4, and shoot the Snapshot. So we're going to present essentially 8 to 10 damage on this next turn, but we're going to end without an Arsenal because this would be our block card in that situation. So that's one thing. Now we do have Mark of Lightning up, so any blocks here from Zach, we're going to be able to snap for 1 additional damage. So let's just assume 3 blocks in hand. We do 1 damage here with Dominate, we do 1 damage here with Dominate, and then we crack Lightning for 1 more. Zach goes down to 3. That's interesting. Also means that you're taking like 4 Frostbite tokens probably at the end of this turn, which is going to shut that turn down quite a bit. I feel like if I block with 3 here, you probably, you're the kind of person, you in particular, probably Arsenal the Electrify and don't use it here on the Vela Flash. But we also know that we're on such low health totals that getting an extra 4 damage on me here is relevant, and it gives you a Hail Mary Inspire Lightning or just swing with a sword in the gameplay.
Or like Bramble into Ball Lightning to hit the Arcane, and like, yeah.
Now, other things that could happen here. So
after you explain what you're thinking, I'll tell you something I'm thinking.
Okay, here's other options, right? So we could actually just pass on revealing Chill to the Bone. So we could just play this out of Arsenal. Then we could Honing Hood, put Electrify in, play Electrify out of Arsenal, pitch like the Ice Fane probably, draw a card, get the 2 damage online, and then shoot Snapshot or Dazzling Crescendo. Now we would also see what this card, if it's like a pump, if it's an Overflex or something, this is likely a game-winning situation if you draw into the Overflex there. So you could always go with the Electrify play as well, because Chill to the Bone's still going to fire. I would just have the go again on a Dazzling Crescendo. Then if you draw into a 1-cost Shock Striker or something, you're in money at that point.
A lot of ways this goes well for you.
Yeah, so what are you thinking?
So the only thing I'm considering is whether to play this or not. Obviously, if I Arsenal it next round, it's a really nice get to draw a card and get the effect potentially. The reason I'm probably going to play it this round is, it depends on what you block with, but if you don't completely cover this up, playing this is going to be 2 instances of damage, which is going to get me 2 embodiment tokens, which is probably the only way I make it out of next round.
Yeah.
Is like blocking with non-attacks at 4.
Yeah.
So if you have a way to actually cover this up,
There's no way.
and still have a turn? I don't know what that. Like, you can Honing Hood and draw a card off of this, and it's an interesting thing, right?
Don't know. Yeah, it's possible.
That I'm not saying it's the right call, but that as the Briar player, that's what I'm thinking. Is I'm looking at, can I get 2 embodiments here? And obviously I'm threatening lethal, right? If you were not paying attention, it's like you have the winning hand. You're like, I'm not gonna block, and then I just kill you. If you are paying attention, I at least have a way to get 2 or get 2 cards out of your hand. Either one being the thing, and then I get to arsenal that. So that was the like pathways that appeared to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's kind of a world. Your Honing Hood play could happen, right? So we can actually pick this up into the, probably, I think the chance of drawing an attack versus an arrow I can shoot again is probably lower. So we could block 5 here. This goes into Arsenal with the Honing Hood. And now we flip up here. That's going to give Dazzling Crescendo go again anyway. We pitch blue, we play Electrify, we're 2 resources floating. We use one of those resources to Dazzling Crescendo. If this is a 1-cost attack, anything, or an overflex, it's really good.
The fact that Electrify is going to be a floating effect, so I have to cover your whole next turn up.
That's right. Now we don't get to play Total the Bone, so it's about how much do we want to try to turn off that next turn versus pressure some damage. And you getting 2 embodiment of Earth, of course, is going to change our math on this.
Yeah. So, and if this does at least 1, I'm doing 4. So I get 2 embodiment and you're down to 3.
Yeah. So we can block out this entire turn. You arsenal the Electrify, and then I need it to go really well because Briar on a 5-card Electrify red hand is me dead.
Yeah, and I won't be on a 5-card. You know you can Electrify and draw, load the Crescendo, play it. So like your worst case is that you threaten 5.
There is actually, so I would be threatening 7 with the Electrify trigger.
And I have to block and you can get 1 cheeky in.
Yeah, so you gotta block 1 right on. I think that's probably the safest play.
That's why I wanted to mention it, because it's not clear. You know what's in my hand and my resources.
Right.
I think the way I sneak by this game in Swiss is that either someone makes the mistake and lets me just kill them,
right,
or they let me get the 2 embodiments. Now I might not draw any non-attacks at all, but blocking for 4, I can cover that up with a single card. And if I can do that twice, I can still have a 2-card hand.
Yeah,
which is how I can do 3. That's how I wiggle here. I might have a 7 on that hand, and now you got to block, and we're in that whole cycle. Yeah,
and I'm in a situation I could maybe play for a game-ending dominate arrow here.
Yep.
I like that. I like that option a lot.
Because also, if you draw a pump, that's pretty good too.
It's so good. Overflex here is a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna crack the Honing Hood. This is the game. I mean, there's so much to this. It's insane. Play Electrify in. And then I'm gonna. So the
Isn't that wild to think about?
Yeah, that's why we all play. So the question here that I'm looking at was, so both of these arrows are the same damage. They're both gonna have go again. Doesn't much matter. So it's Snapshot is so unlikely to be. I mean, both of them, the fusion isn't really gonna matter. I suppose you keep the Snapshot. If it's the same as this and it's already going to have go again, it's the same as this, just with maybe an effect that is better.
Yep.
If I draw a second arrow and it's maybe a
red Chilling Ice Frame.
Well, I'm trying to think of.
Or a 0.
It would have to be. I'd have to draw into. I don't think I could ever pay for it. But in a vacuum, it's definitely better. So let's block for 5 there.
Yeah. So you took no damage. You still have an incredible play online. You gave me an Arsenal card. I think I gave myself, and that's part of Fab, is no matter what you're doing, giving yourself the best outs possible. Because as an example, I put on the bottom of my deck, maybe very unintuitive, this yellow break ground, which costs 3, and I had the resources to play. I could have just sent 6 at you. But 6 is not lethal. And 6 means you can just take 6.
And then 5 card it.
Now, probably not take 6, because I might have a Sigil of Suffering in here.
Right.
But it's close. Yeah. It's close to just you can take it.
I won 2 games on Sigil of Suffering on Saturday.
Yeah, and can't get down to 1. It's Briar.
All right, let's use Lexi's ability. Next attack's going to have go again. We're going to pitch the blue here to float. using our new majestic tokens available now. To play the Electrify, draw a card. Next time a card hits, 2 damage.
Also, if I had 2 embodiments, this would be a phenomenal turn for me.
We were so close.
We were on the verge of greatness.
Okay, so let's look at what we drew.
Yeah, you have to, but it's too expensive.
It's one away from a great finisher here. However, our option here is play the Winter's Grasp, has to block with 1 card, probably still gets the 2 damage in if he wants to take a turn. So do 5, basically. Ish.
Yeah.
Or probably get 2 cards out of hand here, flip and Electrify. If you also have a Gogan attack in hand, that is very bad because then you also swing the sword, likely. Other option here is Snapshot. Keep in mind we can also mark a lightning, so that's an idea. We can't do it on this guy. So we can also Snapshot, give it Dominate, because Dominate here is probably worth 2 damage. But again, just go to 5. There's between 5 and 4 here, maybe 2s. Not that big of a difference. I think it kind of looks the same at the end of the day. We'll talk about that a little more in a second.
I mean, it's interesting because, like, sending the 6 at me, I have to block with at least a 3 block.
Mm-hmm.
Or I die.
Mm-hmm. And you might not have any.
Yeah, but the downside of sending the 6 at me is the only card left is an arrow. And starting with that in Arsenal, suboptimal.
Not great.
Yeah, now that is one edge case for keeping the arrow that you can give Gogan to.
Mm-hmm. You could drop it in the
if
Arsenal.
it's an Arsenal, it's very
if you draw the Winter's Grasp, I think it's the only card that would matter. So funny.
Yeah. But that's just something to consider. I mean, not that you would never naturally see that unless you were playing like this.
Now, so if we roll in, let's say 4 Dominate, you block with a 3. We're doing 3. We could technically crack to do 4. And now you're at 2 health. And then any 5 damage arrow at Dominate. So a 2-card hand with a 5 damage arrow in it is the end of the game for me. So getting you down to 2 is actually a really relevant breakpoint, given all the red 5 damage arrows that have gone in the deck as well.
Yeah.
But you also have to then not Arsenal Winter's Grasp. Because if you draw that 5 damage arrow, you can't get the Winter's Grasp out, right?
Yeah.
Fascinating. You could also come in Snapshot for 5. If you block with a 2, I'm doing 3, 4, 5, 6 with Mark of Lightning, so it forces a 3 out of hand, and you go down to 1. Or it's 2 cards out of hand. And I save the mark. Do you even put the Grasp in Arsenal at that point? You just probably can't. It's actually a really awkward card here. Grasp.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you do? If we had but one more resource, we would be so happy.
Uh-huh. Honestly, I probably swing with the Winter's Grasp and keep the Snapshot in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's actually a way bigger liability in Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, so swinging for 5 isn't going to strip 2, right? So not necessarily. So 5 block 3 does 4 damage plus mark is 5, so it's still not lethal. 6 I can't mark, but 3 turns into 5. You block 3. You can't block with a 2.
The thing I like about the 6 is that the other pressure point on Briar is that a lot of non-attacks. When I don't have embodiments, it means usually my only 3 blocks are attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can, and you know I've got this Electrify.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can fish out my attacks, then I'm kind of a 50-50. Now 2/3 of my deck are attacks. It just so happens you'll be attack heavy and sealed on Briar. But like, there's a world where I have to block with my attacks there, and that doesn't feel good.
Yeah. The other thing about Grasp and Arsenal is it does at least throw a Frostbite on you next turn.
Yeah.
If we have one.
It's a Frostbite and lethal.
Yeah.
And presenting lethal is half the game here.
So there's a piece of me that can sit on the Grasp in Arsenal and then block 3 cards out of hand, pitch, play Windrow's Grasp on my next turn. So I've got a 3 block hand that I can throw at preventing you from doing the dirty.
Yeah, as long as I don't arcane you to the ground.
Which is possible, right? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
And then I think you come in for 5.
So you pay 1, make it a 5, swing it at me?
I think that's right, yeah.
Now, is it?
Do you like Dominate 4 here? Let's say you block with a 3, you take 3 damage, I can crack for 4 damage, put you at 2. If I swing for 5, you've got to, and to say you block with a 3, same situation. You're at 1. Difference between 1 and 2, maybe negligible. I mean, 1 is better than 2.
I mean, I guess it just depends.
Or you can block 2 cards, you know, give you the option.
It just depends.
We assume Dominate guarantees the Electrify.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't if I have red Sigil of Solace.
Sigil of Suffering.
Sigil of Suffering. Then I could block. You take 1 and I take none.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
maybe the worst.
In fact, that's so bad.
Maybe it's not worth risking.
I don't think you can do it.
All right, let's do 5.
Yeah, that actually probably just ends the game.
Out of it.
Yeah. 5, no Dominate. I'm gonna block for 2, and we'll go to reactions.
You know, whether or not you crack the mark here is a good question. Just go ahead and sink the damage while you have it. I do have a Ball Lightning, but it's at the bottom.
Ball Lightning, and then any
Frazzle,
fuse hit effect that really matters.
Frazzle and Buzz can also get it done.
I don't know that.
You don't want to lose with this having not been used.
Yeah.
Putting you on 2 is pretty good here. You blocked with a 2 there. So you must have a reaction.
Well, I did ask, can we go to reactions?
Yeah. Well, you're dead unless you did. So I have to crack it here to threaten lethal. Otherwise, maybe you just forgot, and then I win the game.
I like that.
Because I'm hitting you for 5 currently. We've got to crack for 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you were just rando.
I mean, if it's like a Swiss game, I'm probably cracking mark there every time.
Yellow Sigil.
All right. Take 1 Arcane.
Yeah. And then I'll cover up the damage.
So you're blocking for 5. You got it. And let's Arsenal here and just see how much we hate that. We're gonna hate it.
You're about to find out.
We're gonna hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably. All right. Check this turn out. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Here's what I've got. I have a yellow Earthor Surge and a blue Arcanic Shockwave. There's the YOLO play, right? And my natural default setting is I want to pitch a blue, play the red Electrify, 2 floating, draw a card, and it's like, oh man, if I draw another 0-cost attack, like an Earthor Surge, play the attack, we're off to the races.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a chance I don't draw an attack.
Mm-hmm.
So...
And that's probably a game loss immediately, right?
Check this spicy number out. Instead, I can pitch here, 1 floating, draw a card, right? And I know no matter what I do, I can play this attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have to honor that because that's actually presenting 5 damage.
It must be honored.
Now, what I can also do, depending on what I draw, is as long as I don't draw a red, I can pay 1, crack the boots, give it go again, and swing the sword.
And you've played it because you played a non-attack. Yeah.
So that is 100% the play.
It's so much better, yeah.
So I'll pay 1, play a red Electrify, and draw a card.
Such a different line than you would expect to see. I mean, majority of everyone is thinking, I got an Earthor Surge into something big here. Draw red?
I drew red.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, which I don't think matters. Because I can Arcanic Shockwave for free.
Any fusion?
Yeah, yes.
Get out of here.
Red Electrify, fuse it for 1.
You dirty dog.
Create an embodiment. And then it's coming in for 2. If it hits, it's lethal, of course.
Right.
But the red actually didn't even matter because, when I was doing it in my head before, I thought I just miscounted. Because I can pay 1 for the boots, pay 1 to swing the sword. So I can get the sword swinging either way. Whether or not I want it is a good question. Because this red Electrify is pretty spicy, so it depends on what you do here.
Yeah, that is a really good question. Okay. And then I'm going to do some, let me do something. And then we pitch, go. Yeah, I'm going to block 2 there. Right?
So
there's no weird things on the board. I don't have to worry. I've seen the electrify, so the lightning press isn't an issue.
Yeah.
We're good. Locked it up.
Now, a few things here. It's very tempting to go ahead and swing the sword. Like, super tempting.
Yeah.
The problem I have...
With the hides and then the pitch. But then it's just so losing, though.
The problem I have with that is that it only swings for 4. So you can literally take it and hope I don't have another sigil. So you might not just take the damage.
Yeah. And you don't even know that I have this, right? You don't know what this is? Winter's Grasp?
No.
The audience knows.
The reality is that I think... How many cards in hand?
I have 3 cards.
So a card ordering arsenal, what I am going to assume without knowing would be like, that's like an electric card. Or an ice card that costs 0. You're going to flip it up. You're going to play that card. Then you have a blue pitch, load an arrow, shoot an arrow at dominate. In which case, I'm in a weird spot.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. But even if I take one of those cards out of your hand, you still have that play.
Yeah.
So unless that's a non-attack that costs more than the resources you have to load an arrow and shoot it, I got a problem.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
So instead of doing nothing,
less gas.
I'm just going to arsenal.
Less gas, more patience. Isn't it always patience is how this goes?
Because red electrify also is going to give me an out, right? I can play that for 1-card hand, and it
can do some work.
If I save a blue, it might be play it for 1, draw a card, 2 floating, play a ball lightning, swing the sword.
I've got a very good turn here. Some of the power of these new cards. So I start here with a Winter's Bite. Discard, pay 3.
I get to choose?
Because I know I've got 6 coming in, right? So I want to at least I pull in 1 card, I'm going to pull another card.
Discard a red burgeoning.
At least with this. And then we'll see what happens. All right, let's flip up for a Frostbite here. And Zach's happy to see the Winter's Grasp.
Is he?
He's happy to see it's not other things. Then we're going to pitch this Frazzle and swing for 6. But, I mean, a red Electrify 2-card hand for Briar could end this game. Especially with the boot still up. But the 1 Frostbite will probably help us here. Especially if it's a Suede Hide's turn. That extra resource is probably going to matter. It doesn't always, but it certainly can. And you gotta plan on that.
We do not like the stock.
As Ian Schaefer says, this game is so good with a lot of O's. Multiple lines of play that come up from turn to turn are fascinating. It's crazy. I don't know how it's possible, really. I've had 20-card hands and thrones, and I'm like, it's still very linear.
All right, I want to block for 3.
Oh, look at that surge. Out of hand. All right, no reactions.
Take 3.
Yeah. All right, and then we arsenal here.
All right, mine.
Yours. Good luck.
I'm going to pay 2 for this red electrify with a ball lightning.
Okay. Well, you got 8 of those, so.
Draw a card.
You get the Earthwar Surge out of there? Or I'm sorry, embodiment.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I'm scared.
Then we will play a lightning surge. No, go again. 1 card in hand. Coming at you for 4, and if it hits, 3 extra.
Yeah. That looks lightning pressy, doesn't it? So
I thought I used it. I use a lightning press, right?
You could have more than one.
I mean, what it to me probably signals is like if I have at least a yellow, it's a sword swing.
It's boots and sword.
So you got to assume 2 unpreventable is also going to happen here.
But we can't let the electrify hit him. 4. This is why 4 is such a good break point.
Yeah. Got to pay the troll toll.
So what we're actually looking at here is okay. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So I've got a yellow Heaven's Claws in the arsenal here. So I know I'm gonna be able to flip and play that with Go Again for 1. We got another Heaven's Claws here, beautiful foil. an Ice Vein, Shock Strike, and Electrify. So like an immediate play here on a 2-card hand is yellow, Heaven's Claw, Shock Striker for 9. That's a great turn. I don't hate that turn at all. Right? So that gives us a 6 to block with. Other things we could do, because we didn't have the blue, and this is why blues can matter so much in Lexi, a blue here opens up Heaven's Claws into Chilling Ice Vein. We don't have a fuse card for it, but it would be like a Dominate 4. So if Zach wants to get cheeky and block the Heaven's Claws for 3, go down to 1, I can come in with a Dominate 4, which is exactly where you want to be on that. I don't, one of these cards is going to get pitched this turn, and I don't think where these cards end up on the bottom of the deck. Now we're actually playing, we got probably 3 hands to second. Actually, I'll tell you how many we got. Can I look?
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly how many we've got. There it is. Red Shock Striker. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Almost 2 hands exactly when we hit our next cycle. So Zach's on 2, I'm on 5. I don't think we're going to get there. So I'm not going to waste a lot of my time thinking about which of these yellows is the best one to pitch. What I'm really thinking of is which is the best one to block with. If we block 6 here, that shuts down yellow Lightning Press and blue Lightning Press. So if we're going to block at all, blocking with 6 is better than blocking with 5 strictly. Because there are yellow Lightning Press floating around. People will play yellow Lightning Press, and that turns this into me losing the game. So I think the best that we can play around that card is to block for 6 here, and then come in with a 9 damage 4/5 turn.
Yeah.
Which is a good turn.
And doing that again makes me think it's not time to pop my boots.
Yeah.
Right? It's that cascade effect where you only block with 1 card, obviously you lose.
Yeah.
Because you take the 4 and then I have the Arcane. So you actually have to block 2 cards, right?
Must.
Because if not, it's just over.
It's over, yeah.
So it's just a matter of which 2 you're going to block. It is worth, in the event this keeps going back and forth, right? Thinking about like which of these is that I'm not playing this turn are generically good. To me, that's the yellow Heaven's Claws.
I still think it's better to play around Lightning Press here, though. Strictly, like going
I'm
at 6
that.
and 2 up, because again, yellow Lightning Press here loses me the game.
I'm into it.
So that's a problem.
Yep. And then the yellow Electrify is fine in the bottom of the deck.
The other piece of this is, you don't block this. No, you don't block the sword. Yeah. So I think you block 6 here. Yeah, beautiful 6.
And then I'll pass. Arsenal.
All right, not taking. Now, here's the crazy thing, though. If you do swing the sword there, I probably don't block, and I go down to 1. Yeah. That puts you on game point if I don't kill you next turn.
Or Sigil of Suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, true. That would be my biggest concern in that turn.
Well, spoiler, it's a red Stir the Wildwood.
Okay, so that'll do some work for you.
So I couldn't actually swing the sword.
Oh, right on. Okay.
And it's literally, if I just save a yellow or a blue at this point, I have the option now to put you on game point.
All right, so we're going to do our plan. We're going to use Lexi to give the next attack. And this is why these cards are so good in Lexi.
Yeah.
So good. Where you can see it. So we will pitch 1 for Heaven's Claws with Go again. That's probably a 2-card out of hand situation. And then this red Shock Striker comes in for 5, also has to honor 2 cards here. So we get a full 4-card hand going into the next thing. And if we can draw that 5-arrow Dominate, we're looking like we're in a really good spot here. Could be 1 card out of your hand here.
That's such a good turn for you. Yeah, we will block for 3. Take 1.
Taking 1 there. And then we're going to come in Shock Striker for 5.
It's not what I wanted to see.
You got to block 2. You still have... See, it's fascinating, too, because you could still swing for 5 just with a blind Stir out of your arsenal on your next turn.
That's absolutely what's going to happen.
And I can't just take that.
You have to block something.
And so I'm going to have a 3-card hand to try to get it done.
Block with 5?
Oh, okay. You got it.
Or die.
5 or die, a classic.
Yeah. And see, that's what's wild about that lightning being there. Is like, if I have 1 more card here, it goes so much better. Because I bramble into the Stir. And then you can't prevent the Arcane, so now it's a 7 coming at you. and you're down to 4. So then you probably have to block with 2 cards.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, now you at least have the option. Stir for 5.
Yeah. So we've won here. So we've got a blue Overflex Frazzle. So this is a dominate 7 attack or 8 attack coming in next turn here. So we can block the 2 here, take 3, and then send back an 8 dominate. So that's what we're gonna do.
And hope I don't double sigil you.
Hope you don't have double sigil. That's right. Go to 2 here. All right, and then blue Overflex, load dominate, frazzle for 8.
Block for 3 and die.
There it is.
Wa-boom.
We did it.
After all that complaining about my
I know,
pool.
right? Well, I just like to be animated. It's more entertaining, right?
This is actually a good example, I think, of I think a lot of people will just avoid Lexi because they think she's not good. And now I will say, like, Winometer goes way up when you land 5 damage turn 1 and have an arsenal card.
It's so
like,
good.
If that
it's
is your
almost
opening,
worth playing Lexi for that possibility, right?
Yeah. So half your games you're gonna have that advantage typically. And I'm gonna go ahead and build another pool.
Yeah. So if you're out there, I see there's a lot of people out there that
also clutch play when you covered up the electrify that would have got me 2 embodiments.
Yeah.
You saved yourself.
That was ultimately correct.
6 damage, and literally I had the non-attacks in hand the next round, so I would have been at like way more health. That would have been game over.
And the Winter's Grasp and Arsenal was actually quite good.
Yep.
In that situation.
Just sending 6.
Here's the deal. 2 months ago, even I would have misplayed probably 3 of those hands.
And even without us fully talking them through, like that turn where you covered up that 1 attack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's what happened. I don't even know if I would have done it.
Right.
Like I knew in my mind it was like, well, I give myself a chance to get 2 things and get damage through. And it's like he's probably not going to overblock it. Everyone hates overblocking.
Even that Earthlore Surge pitch that you did.
Mm-hmm.
I think a few months ago we played the Earthlore Surge. And
well, you pitch the blue hoping you draw an attack.
And you hope you draw an attack. You're like, oh, that's going to be a really big moment.
Yeah.
So please just know, I mean, this has been a 1.5+ year process. Only now starting to maneuver in the game in a way that I'm feeling somewhat competent with talking this stuff over and actually being able to come to the right conclusion. So like,
it's very deep game.
It's extremely deep, and that's why people that really once you kind of see behind the curtain on this, it becomes like a obsession. It's like oh my gosh, how is this even?
Game's good.
It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Yeah.
One last round.
Let's do another one.
Yeah. And you can put your wrappers in here. You're a ground wrapper.
I am, man. I'm a wild animal.
That was a good game.
Taringa, that's such a good game, yeah.
It's cool just seeing all those little interactions and actually talking it through. I like this start.
Alex thinks the Fable's coming up.
I have that feeling in my bones, you know. I said that when we first started stream or right before the stream. Feels like a Fable kind of day.
Well, I keep seeing all these posts, and it just seems like everybody's pulling the Fabled.
Yeah, right. That happens in Pokemon every time too. It's like I pulled it. Everyone's like, everyone's pulling the Charizard.
I tell you what, we need more posts of like, this was an average box.
This was everything was fine here. No one complained.
Adequate.
I got another Rugumuffins.
Worth noting too how clutch that Entwine Ice actually was in that game.
See?
Yeah, I know that red Entwine is there. I mean, it's not wrong.
I'm glad that
it turns out they're pretty good at balancing this for Sealed.
I'm getting all these amulets. I hate that they put that in that slot. I don't hate it. It just makes me sad every time.
Doesn't? Oh, Channel Mount Heroic. Okay. Don't show me that card.
Every time I get that instead of equipment, it's like, oh. Wargly, no one brags about their average box, unfortunately.
It's like nobody leaves that 5-star review for a sufficient experience.
Yeah.
They did what they said, and I'm pleased.
As expected.
As expected. No need to say anything.
We like the mark.
Man, Mark of Lightning is so good.
Yeah. I bounced aggressively. like right at you somehow.
Yeah, thanks.
Cracking packs.
Cracking packs.
I can tell this is going to be a challenging decision on my sealed pool.
Last time we really cracked packs with spoils. Certainly together. Destiny kind of got there, but
different packs though, man.
5-card packs or whatever.
Just different. With dice. Alright. Fable or bust?
I've got it in here already.
If I don't get the fabled, I'm leaving. I'm just kidding.
You haven't pulled one yet, have you?
I have.
Oh, well.
Yeah. No,
when you open 16,000 boxes,
card.
you probably pull it.
Yeah, just 1 million. Just kidding.
That's right, John the Bard. See, this is exactly what we're talking about. I've gotten 2 boxes of Aria, both average. My buddy gets into it and pulls Rampart on the first box. Always happens that way, doesn't it? Well, hey, at least you got a friend getting into it with you, yeah?
You were 1 away from the Fable that Sealed Saturday.
I was one seat away. Yep.
Old Kyle next to you.
Ultimately happy about that. Let everybody have a great time.
All right. Let's take a look.
It's in a... I just hate seeing the yellow lightning surges all the time. I don't hate it. Could be worse.
2 blue Winter's Bite. Watch out. That's good.
Yeah, watch out.
That's a decent ice pool.
Got another thing cooking up here. I'm just sucking on Earth. Constantly.
Hey, why don't you go suck on some Earth?
Yeah, go suck Earth. It's a sweet dish.
Yeah, it really is.
Man.
Interesting.
Oh. Wow. Oh, sorry. I made the noise that is like really important, but it's not that good. It's not an important noise. That was just...
I was like, what happened?
I saw a bunch of red buzz bolts. I'm really excited. Oh, and a blue Bolton shot. What a waste of a time there. Hey, it's a blue that blocks for 3.
Ooh.
Boy, embolden. Don't you just hate that card?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 red Earthor Surge and a Channel Mount Heroic.
That's a pretty good go there.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you.
All right.
It's a Dust Blade.
Boom.
I can play this, right?
You can. You won't, though.
You don't ever do it. Oh, yeah, you don't ever do it. There's not like a cheeky build where you can do that and seal it?
Maybe.
And the plume. You love seeing the plume.
I'm not a huge... man, where's my Cracker Jacks at?
I got him. Oh my gosh. I've got some heat here. Got some heat, man.
I see that red ball lightning doesn't...
It's not the first of them.
Inspire me with confidence.
Not the first of them. Won't be the last. Down a red Electrify, red Earthlore Surge. We're going Briar in this one, everybody. Although the Lexi pool is super strong too. It's just, oh, and a foil Terra Sunder. What's up?
Oh, yeah. I'm happy about that.
For your general collection?
For myself. Yes. Yes, indeed.
This is good all around. This is good. This is good. Ice. Okay. All right. What are you thinking?
Don't know yet. So my gear...
kind of a weird Plume, Cracker Jacks, Runaways, and Buckler.
It's good for Oldham.
It is. About the only thing.
I mean, Cracker Jacks is decent no matter what you're doing.
I love these red snow unders. This is actually a pretty good Oldham pool. It's got emboldens to make you question it, but it's real good actually. Hey, this is like a snow under Oldham pool. Wow. Okay. All right, it's interesting. But my concern is that lightning is just so good here. You see the hits here.
Looks good thus far.
Yeah. That's kind of the hits. The rest are kind of blues, middling blues.
That
Fine.
foil Terra Thunder looks great for me.
Doesn't it look good? All right, so here's our lightning hits. Let's just see how good this looks here. This is a good looking Briar lightning situation here. A lot of go again. Red ball lightning, pretty good. We don't have any strong Lexi lightning cards here. Our Heaven's Claws and Shocksuckers are in blue. Blue lightning surge is technically fine. I might actually play that in Briar. Right? I'll take a look at it. We got one Inspire Lightning, probably not going to be played. We got the Amulet. I would play that in Briar, I think. Blue Lightning Press is Blue Lightning Press. No need to reinvent the wheel there. Let's see what else we've got. Really start with the element cards, I think is right. I've definitely felt better about that one.
This is down the line, dude.
Yeah, sometimes that's even worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yellow Icing Counter is not bad. I don't mind that card. 2 blue Winter's Grasp is actually excellent.
This is tough, actually. Very tough. It's like almost old hymnable. My equipment, though, really, really has something to say about Briar.
I might be able to go old him if we just want to get one on stream.
I also might go there.
Burgeoning, so
are you leaning Briar? Let me know when you get there.
yeah, I could go either way. Let's actually unpack it.
Yeah.
I'll get kind of my cards that I don't really care to play out of the way. Okay, so the things that interest me about Oldhim here is we've got a good amount of these just straight up annoying ice cards. 2 red Chill to the Bones in Oldhim is really just kind of really annoying. Yellow Winter's Bite is the right color for that card. Red or blue or yellow is fine. Blue Polar Blast is fine. Blue Icequake. We got 2 blue Winter's Grass. That's great as a 3 block. Powers the Hammer. Also can pitch for the reaction, of course. Then we've got Terra Sunder, 2 yellow Snow Unders, 2 red Snow Unders. So these are 4 very good general attacks. Terra Sunder obviously great. Should have no trouble fusing these Snow Unders for the Frostbite token. We've got a couple of mulches. Red and yellow. Don't like the card. However, it's playable and it blocks for 3.
I like it in blue.
I like it in blue. We've got a blue Thump, blue Entangle, blue Glacial, yellow Thump, yellow Turn Timber, this red Embolden, blue Strength of Sequoia, blue. So like...
Terra Thunder is so good.
So good. We've got a lot of blues to power Oldhim here.
So
we have a decent amount of blues that can swing the hammer at 4 as well. The Thump, the Entangle, the Glacial, and the Embolden.
Comparatively, just as an example, I have 1 red Thump, 2 yellow. I have a red and a yellow Glacial Footsteps. So that's good. Just stepping there. Now, if I go look at Earth real quick, I've got 2 red Earthor Surges.
Love that. I've got 1 over here.
I've also got this Channel Mount Heroic.
Ooh.
Which is less good on Oldhim.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to play multiple attacks ever. So, you're paying 3. If you get it once, let's say you pitch an Earth card, you get it twice. It's a 6 damage card. Not bad. Particularly good with Thump. You're unlikely to play Thump and it on the same turn, though. So that's going to be hard to set up. So that is an interesting card to me. Looking at my equipment, I have the Runeblade Boots and the Mark of Lightning. Or if I go Oldhim, I can run the Code of Frost and the Runaways. Fine. Then I look at the...
Hides and Mark of Lightning really pulls towards Briar.
Yeah.
It really does.
So then, the rest of my actual Guardian cards are okay. I have enough blues to be fine. Same with my Ice and Earth cards. The volume of my Ice and Earth cards at the right colors, like a lot of yellows and blues, are really good for Oldhim. It's like 2 blue Winter's Bite is just perfect. I also got like yellow Chill to the Bone, 4 yellows, 3 reds. Earth, kind of the same vibe going on. Like I have a good spread of all 3 colors. So like the cards are here to play Oldhim.
Do you have any breakout Briar cards?
Yes. So red and blue Velaflash, good. Red and yellow Bramble Spark, good. Then I've got a yellow and blue Arcanic Shockwave, pretty good. I've got 4 copies of Singeing Steelblade.
Oof, that's just strong.
2 yellow, 2 blues. A red Rites of Lightning, one of my favorite cards.
Rites of Lightning is where it's at.
Yeah. And then notable, there's some decent other cards here, like a red Explosive Growth. That can be really interesting. But I got this Flicker Wisp. 0 cost, Lightning Fusion. If it's fused till the end of turn, action card effects you control to deal arcane damage instead deal that much +1. Then it deals an arcane. So if you fuse it, this is 2 arcane.
Yeah, just right there.
Non-attack action, go again.
Yeah.
So that's very appealing to me on the Briar side. And my Lightning pool, it's really comparing Lightning to Ice at this point. And my Lightning pool is fine.
So
not phenomenal.
Let me show you this. This is kind of a weird Briar situation. I'm of the cards that are actually somewhat notable. Red Sigil of Suffering. You love to see that. I got only the 1 Bramble Spark. Red Stir, Red Arcanic, Red Singeing, 2 Veil of Flashes, and the Red Rites is fine. But then you also have so much space taken up by 3 Inspires. 2 Res Your Replenishment Yellow. Not really what I'm looking for.
That's just fine.
It's fine. It's playable. Then if I look at Lexi, because like Lexi is pretty good here on the ice, but this is not a Lexi Lightning pool. I don't like this at all for Lexi. So like the thing that makes me, think past my better judgment is the sheer amount of like good red arrows that I have.
I was low on that. Otherwise, I actually love this Lexi pool because I have a red Heaven's Claws and a yellow Heaven's Claws and a yellow Shock Striker. And then I've got a really solid ice pool for this. Like,
yeah, that looks really, really solid.
Yeah, I like the red ice
Spike
power.
Is so good, man.
I like the yellow Winter's Grasp. I'm cool with the yellow Frost Fang. So it was close to Lexi, and then I looked at my cards. I had a red Chilling Ice Band. I was like, this is it. And then it fell apart.
And then it didn't
Mostly
work.
blues.
So I'm on 2 Overflex, red and yellow.
Like
3
that.
red Buzz Bolts.
Yep.
2 red Flakeouts, which is fine. Dominate at 6 usually. And a red Frazzle. Frazzle with Mark of Lightning is where you want to be, but we're not there. And then a red Blizzard Bolt. So this is like good arrows.
Yeah.
Really good arrows. And we got some other ones here too. So you could make this work. We're kind of both in a similar spot where I feel like I could actually go all 3 here and have a decent shot.
I agree.
And so it does kind of at that point, to me, this lightning pool is probably... Do you think this is too good to give up here?
I mean, I don't think
Briar,
so.
I mean, you're on 5 go again, 6, 7 go again with Briar.
Just generically go again with Briar is pretty good, of course. But like, red and Twine Lightning is really good. Yellow is fine. Your yellow and blue Lightning Surge is fine. Like they're good specifically for Briar. That's why he says not a Lexi pool.
Yeah.
These 3 cards are not that good in Lexi, especially.
Yeah, especially bad.
Ball Lightning's always good. 2 red Ball Lightnings. That's so hard to say no to. And a red Electrify.
Right? Doesn't that create problems?
Now, if you had it didn't seem like you had that many Runeblade cards that just do Arcane though. So like I like Ball Lightning a lot less in that scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, reasonable. In the meantime, we've got Earth Thor at red. We've got a Weave Earth yellow, which is solid. We've got 2 yellow Break Grounds. It's fine. 3 for 6.
I like that.
And we got some blues. Evergreen and Autumn's Touch.
I like Blue Autumn's Touch a lot.
A red Sow and a red Burgeoning.
Red Burgeoning also high on my list.
So you got red Burgeoning. You got a pretty good. You got Terra Sunder and some Guardian cards.
How many blues is your Earth Ice Guardian pool presenting you? Especially blues that would let you swing the hammer for 4.
Yeah. So I'll separate them out here. How about Ice Quake? It's a good Lexi card. Good Lexi card. We can count Terra Center, though. I don't think we're going to be pitching it very much.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you do. Sequoia, this, Embolden.
The blue version of Embolden is the one you play.
It's the one you play. So across all this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hammers for 4. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 total blues.
So to me, it's the number's like probably 12 to 15 blues is what you're aiming for. And you have about a 1 in 4 shot to have a 3-coster in hand to pitch. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not bad.
What's your equipment?
So actually, it's very much Oldhim, almost exclusively. Cracker Jacks, Plume, Buckler.
And the free, the bonus.
Dust Blade. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you can also technically play that into Briar, of course. That Plume is super powerful. I assume, do you have like a red Weave Earth or something?
I have a yellow.
Okay.
So +3 on
that
Fuse.
And Earthor Surge, right, is fine to be able to get that when you want it.
And these Snow Unders, I love these Snow Unders.
2 at 7?
Yeah,
3 for 7?
2 at 7, 2 at 6. Fuse for a Frostbite.
My goodness.
Pitch
I like
for
that
3.
a lot.
Yeah, this is a pretty strong pool. Turn Timber depending on the matchup. I was running it everywhere these days. Probably not running this red Embolden.
You only had a couple of Thump/Glacials, right, though?
Almost none. Just 1 blue, I think. So this to me is not a dominate. It's not a dominate pool at all.
You're going to fatigue them.
It's a fatigue. Yeah. You've got you've got a Thump with the Cracker Jacks, yellow Thump. You've also got Terra Sunder. Has some big pivotal moments. You've also got 2 Chill to the Bones. So you're going to be able to just like slow some things down.
Yeah. Is it good enough for you to go?
I'll go there if you want to try it. Yeah. Is your Oldhim pool better, you think? Because I could go Briar
let's
here
take a look
without thinking about it. I'll get this Oldhim ready and then...
So, meanwhile, I have bad equipment for me. That's the thing that's least interesting because I get a Runaways and a Coat of Frost if I go Oldhim. I have 3 Thumps, unfortunately, and fortunately, in the Glacials. Then, just in terms of blues, 3, 4, 5. Some of these blues I do not like. As an example, Turn Timber, not ideal.
Yeah, blue is just really bad.
Strength of Sequoia, don't like that either, but it's blue, technically.
Is it a blue 3? I can't remember. Is it 2? No,
it's bad. Then I've got 2 blue.
Wait, what are these are your standout guys? So you're on the big swing, dominate, win the game plan.
Yeah. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I only have 11 blues, so I'd have to. I don't think I play blue and twine. I don't think I can go. I'm off everywhere.
I don't think you can go with him there.
I'm slightly off.
Don't pull this in. I think with a Flicker Wisdom, I think I got a good shot at Briar here.
I mean, I wanted to not play Briar specifically.
Well, we'll do 1 Briar Lexi and then 1 Briar Oldhim, and that's actually indicative of what you will see at Sealed most of the time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna pack that.
You could also definitely play Lexi out of this. You could play Lexi. You have strong arrows. The problem you're going to run into is the same Ranger problem as usual. You have a lot of strong arrows. You're going to draw them all at once, and you're going to block 2, shoot an arrow back, block 2, shoot an arrow back, and that's a good way to lose to Briar.
Yeah.
We got to have those. We saw last game how critically important those Heaven's Claws Shock Striker turns are for Lexi. Yeah, you got to have those.
Yeah.
So we're passing up 2 Red Ball Lightnings. Come on. Who needs them?
Who needs them anyway?
If I had Marker Lightning, I would actually maybe not be able to give that up, but we're going to.
But here we are.
Here we are. Okay, and I'm going to play... You don't... I don't know that you ever go into a game saying, my game plan is fatigue. I think your game plan should be make the best trades that I can. And if fatigue becomes a win condition based on those trades, then yeah,
here we are.
Let's go. But otherwise, no.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So I'm at 35 here. I'm going to start making some cuts. There are clever ways to do this. So first of all my blues, I'm going to go ahead and just play. I'm going to start there, and we can revisit that as needed. I like these break grounds. Great. Sotomaro at red is the worst Sotomaro, but it's fine. Burgeoning at red is playable. Very playable. Icing counter yellow is questionable. Turn Timber, you're going Briar. A 7 block into Briar, not lighting the world on fire for me, so I'm gonna put that down here. These, I feel like these are meant to go with the Rampart, where you pitch a blue and then you block a lot. Definitely gonna play my Thump. God, Emerging Avalanche. I've got the charge card, the fuse cards for it, but I'm not convinced. I probably do play this red mulch just because of the Earthlore Surge. Probably. I might play the yellow as well. They block 3. They block 3. Red Sequoia is fine. It's fine, and it's not good. I'm playing all my Snow Unders. In fact, I'm going to put it down here. Definitely playing the Snow Unders. I'm going to play my Red Chills here. I like the fuse on the Snow Unders. This is going to be kind of the little mini subplot of the deck. 2 Winter's Bite and Oldham can be pretty oppressive, and the Polar Blast is good. So what's funny is I think I needed to cut 5, and I think I just did it.
Just knocked them out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like that, though. Yeah, it's really cool having to balance the resource and fusion element here. All right, I think we like it.
30, boom. Yeah, and like people talk about fatigue and like, well, the game plan is like add a bunch of cards to your deck. I don't think that's right.
I don't like
right?
that stock.
Because Oldham's fatiguing because he's not spending cards to block you. He's taking your turns apart without the card cost because they're going back in via pitch. So like you're gonna fatigue somebody, but you may as well do it with quality cards instead of like trash pile.
Yeah, I mean diluting your hands in the name of fatigue or anti-fatigue, especially because like one of his best fatigue moves is like Glacial for 10.
Yeah, true.
It's like, okay, you can block with 4 cards. I actually want you to. I spent 1, you spent 4.
Yeah, or you can take 10, and then it gives me a win condition on the clock there, right? Where like I might just beat you with damage, and then we don't have to go this fatigue route. That's why it's not it really isn't meant to be, and the game doesn't function that well with you coming into it saying, oh, fatigue is my game plan, because then you're just gonna make bad trades.
Yeah,
you're gonna like block with 3 from hand on something that has known that you could return 8 damage, and you're giving it up to do 0. It's like that's probably not right.
Also of note, a good sign that I should probably be playing Briar. Let me verify.
Mark of Lightning and Suede Shoes.
Yeah. Well, even just like that Mount Heroic being a 3 block as a 9 attack.
Yeah.
That's the most frustrating deal in baseball. I have 2 things I block for 5 with 1 card. Like, especially against Lexi, they'll 5 dominate, think they're gonna get the hit effect guaranteed, and you're just like, nah, not today.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Who's with us out there? Anybody out there? Chat, you guys have been awfully quiet. I'm concerned. I'm scared. I feel like I'm all alone. It's like Zach and I in his home office playing Sealed all day. What a terrible feeling.
Yeah, horrible. Trapped. Someone save me.
Someone save me. I'm having too much fun.
Man, I was really I was actually hoping to play Oldham. I did want to force it.
You can play my deck if you want.
Swapskis.
What's up, Nathan? Folding your laundry? Fantastic, man. I'm so behind on laundry right now.
Not really.
Not as behind as Shannon. Hardly a metric that I want to hold myself to. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
She's a stack it up and get it all done like in a flurry over a weekend.
Yeah, like do a weekend of laundry instead of a slow but steady race.
She'll do like 3 weeks of laundry. 4 weeks of laundry in like a single.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I'm doing it all.
One session.
And then I'm trying to stay on top of it, but it's not easy.
You see Tom McCall?
What's up, Tom?
He said still here.
Still here.
Been a while since I've seen him.
John the Bar getting some lunch. I'm hungry. You didn't want that burrito, and it was devastating.
I had leftover burrito.
Yeah, I don't understand.
We could hop the Griffin.
True. You want to get a Frito chili pie over there or something?
Get a hot dog.
No way, man. Hot dog.
Bar chips and quesos. What's up? My weakness.
Chips and queso is not a meal, man.
I didn't say I was mealing. You're the one that said you're starving.
That's true. Yeah, I'm burning proteins.
Yeah. I know what I'll do. I'll drink a beer and have cheese.
Yeah, those are actually more fun calories for sure.
Yeah, exciting.
Okay.
Even Steven?
Even Steven.
It's even.
All right, I'm Oldhim.
I am the information.
Now, I happen to know I really don't have any dominate attacks in here. And you coming in on the first hand where I can do a decent amount of pitching to prevent damage and put a card on the top of your deck. Maybe deny you an arsenal if you want to do anything. I'm going to go second here. If I had your Guardian pool with all those glacials, I would consider going first.
Just
for sure.
Smack them.
That's great, Tom. Hey, I'm really glad to hear that for you. Jonathan Knox doing dishes. All right. The Fab Chore Crew in effect. I actually do that all the time too. I put on Arsenal Pass and do dishes and that kind of stuff.
You're not supposed to listen to them.
Oh, I do listen though. They're a podcast technically, you know that?
Technically.
Yeah, but they have such charming faces that you're inclined to watch. Also, it's hard to listen to a Flesh and Blood game most of the time.
Yeah.
Hawk365 at the gym. We're at the gym with Hawk365. That's fantastic.
Worley says making dinner, reporting in.
Yeah, cool. All right, everybody's just on the chore train.
That makes sense.
Taking care of your body.
I mean, I guess at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, you're either at work or doing something productive.
That's good.
So you're gonna let me go first, eh?
Yeah. And I know it's out of fashion to let Briar go first here, but knowing my deck, knowing the blues, knowing the likelihood that I can prevent 2 and probably not get threatened from the sword, I think I'm okay here. Jonathan Knox, have you ever thought about doing a sealed event via Discord, like the Armory Discord? We have, kind of. But I don't know. It's probably not coming up anytime soon. Larry Carter says, I've started carb loading for Cincinnati next week. My endurance for tourneys is way down. That's right.
Yeah. You gotta get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Bentley Hunter, so happy to see UK domestic shipping. Looking forward to the fab trays and tokens being included. Yeah, Bentley, so we're going to have to look at when we can get into the big shipment over there with those kinds of products in them. And Galdrick saying, I like the insinuation that being at work isn't always productive, to which I can vouch.
Yeah, man, I know a lot of people with 9 to 5s, and it would terrify some organizations how much their people are not working.
Yeah. Don't tell Zach.
We're small enough that I can...
You just figured that one out, huh?
Look at it. Would you look at that?
Okay.
All right.
Here we are again on my own.
Wow. All right, well.
Now, my cycling might actually matter.
All right. I'm just going to play a Singeing Steelblade.
Okay.
2 flooding. Now, I'll walk you through something. If you're not an Oldhim, I have an unruly first turn. Like, let me see. It would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14 damage turn.
Incredible.
And I still Arsenal.
Incredible.
But you're on Oldhim. So if I start down that path, it actually ends in the... I do like 6 or 7. You're probably going to block it all. And if you have an ice card, I lose a card, I don't get an Arsenal, and it stops the tail end of that damage.
Yeah. So it's really bad, but most players would go big and then be like, oh, Oldhim shut me down.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it now. It's like a 1 Arcane, which I'm going to get an Embodiment. And then you're probably going to cover that up, which is fine. And I'm going to assume you have an ice card.
Mm-hmm.
If you do, there's a card I'm totally fine putting on the top of my deck. And there's a card I'm totally fine putting in Arsenal. So do your worst.
And that's... If I throw one on the top, which I will... There's probably... there's nothing... Well, so you could have a non-attack... This does not have Go Again currently. You can't even use the boots now because you haven't played a non-attack. So is there a conceivable way that you can get a sword swing in this turn? Even now.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
There's not. I've been playing in my mind like these boots are the other boots. So this gives an attack go again, but you can only do it if you played a non-attack.
Yeah.
Earlier when I was that move about playing the electrify from hand.
Yeah. Were you getting it wrong?
Oh no, I Veil Flashed.
It still works.
Yeah, okay. In my head, I was because the boost let you play a non-attack as a go instant.
I kept you honest there.
And I was just like, wait, I couldn't even do that earlier. What up, Guriron? Guriron? How do you say that?
Gyron.
Gyron?
Morning, David.
That was tough.
That's
Especially
Jonathan, by the way. I don't know if he wants me to reveal him on stream, but that is Jonathan.
Yeah. Mr. B.
The current producer. Hey, if you need to leave, Jonathan, too, let us know. It's not a big deal. If we need to cut pops, we'll just keep going into the darkness.
That Jonathan.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Nathan Jonathan.
No.
Jonathan.
Yeah, no. I think it is Jonathan. I don't know who else would be Gyron. I mean, it's like yeah, sorry.
The gig is up.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna text him now. Okay, so I've got some options here, right? A couple of things that I'm thinking is I would love to carry this Snow Under into my next turn. All right, that in terms of cards that I want, I will make sure I have an attack, and it's a fine card to have. I've got the pitch here or here, and I like this pitch for my for a first cycle situation where I can go put a 3 on the bottom. As long as I get a blue on the next turn, I've got a good 6 damage attack coming in.
I mean, if you get a blue and an ice card.
Yeah.
Now that would make me
precisely. I have to put a card on the top of your deck.
Do you?
No. Especially with you. Good point.
So the fact that I don't have go again and I have 2 cards, to me signals that because I'm going to draw the card you put on top of my deck anyway.
Yeah.
Unless I play it this turn somehow, which I could. Like maybe I have an instant for +3 and then I Arsenal and you miss your chance. But you can always react after that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a reaction, so you can think about your life.
But either way, I need to block this 3.
You do need to block the 3. I agree.
Straight up. Or, I can do things like this, right? So prevent the next 2, put 1 on top of your deck, block for 2, have 1 floating prevention, and carry this with me to the next turn. That's where my initial brain goes. Because, this isn't really winning more.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess you block 4 here, lose weave and break ground.
And then all you need is a blue.
And you need a blue and hit a Snow Under chill.
But also, weave, would you rather have +2 or maybe create a frostbite?
Yeah, right? It's weave is good here too. Right?
And it's maybe a +3 if you get to fuse it as well.
And you could pitch, block with weave, carry the Snow Under, or you could simply block with Snow Under and go to the next turn. But you don't really like that because these are not. This is not really what I'm looking at. Yeah. So I'm gonna. Maybe this is right. Block 4 there, or rather block 4 here. Carry this. You don't draw blue. It doesn't look good. Huh. Do you have a favorite there?
I mean, you could technically draw a red-yellow and still do that turn.
Yeah. Snow Under 6.
Now, one thing I like about actually blocking from hand with that Weave Earth is that you now always have it for Plume.
Yeah, that's true.
And even Break Ground. If you ever have a hand that you just need an attack, you have a pump, but you don't have an attack in hand.
That's relevant. Lightning Press here is a problem. That is one of the reasons you would just go here, right? That shuts off Lightning. Lightning Press means no Arsenal, which is great for me. And it kind of looks. I'm gonna stick with that.
All right.
I'm just gonna play it safe on the opening turn, and I'm gonna block with the Weave Earth, prevent the next 2.
I like that.
Put a card on the top of your deck there.
Card on top.
And then my yellow. I'm gonna use my red. Chill to the Bone. It's gonna tell me what's coming up.
Okay.
I assume you're done, yeah.
And I'm done. Yeah. Arsenal. Fast.
We draw back up because it is the first turn of the game. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay. All right. We're gonna do this, this, and that. Wow. We were one off of having just a
Wonkstown turn.
wow. Yeah. Okay, so
Wowie.
wowie. I have no way to get money, right? No.
I love hearing this. Robert Ballard saying, this has been a very high-level sealed learning experience. Thank you, TC.
You're very welcome.
I'm glad that we have something to offer.
That's right. We sure do.
See a cardboard cast. Says out for the day. Great insight.
I'm going to pitch and play a red Snowed Under. And I'm not going to fuse it, unfortunately. So 7 coming at you.
7.
Kind of wild not to have to think about Command and Conquer.
Changes the game.
What's up, Lucifer Zoo? Casa Mysteria, we are going to Dallas. Yes, Zach and I will be there. Are you going to Dallas? Are you in Dallas? Kind of cool. I've got the Runaway one. I've got the Old Buckler one. I've got some good breakpoint protection here.
All right, let's.
You're taking 7. Come
6. Take 1.
on. All right. Whoa. Never expected that arsenal, that bad boy.
I'm telling you, man. Old him. When you start understanding, he can snipe a card on your first attack.
Different turns.
Things get different. Yeah. All right, mine.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go Arcanic Shockwave for 3, showing you a ball lightning. So 1 arcane damage, and then a 3 coming at you.
You got 1 card in hand there.
Did you say hi to our friend Lucifer? What up, Lucifer?
I did. Yeah, we did.
I was locked in, making a big old blocking decision. A bob.
The old Bob.
A big old block.
Okay, so we did cycle down that blue. So we're actually looking really good on the second cycle here.
And he likes to get to that cycle.
He likes it. I'm gonna block 3 and go to reactions.
Pass.
We're gonna do both.
Pass.
Yeah.
Stacking the bottom of that deck.
Yeah, it's
That's one of his secrets.
really good. Yeah.
Secrets are no fun.
And then I will pass back to you. That was from a long time ago. Didn't quite have what I needed on the blues there, but
all right, now we're here to partay. We're gonna play a red Earthor Surge. So this is so crazy. I'll walk you back through this in a second. Actually,
okay.
We're gonna play a Rites of Lightning red. At 9, I'm gonna show you a ball lightning. So it's 1 arcane damage, and if you take an arcane, then it has go again.
Yeah. So it's coming in for 9.
Mm-hmm. So I had that in Arsenal last turn. I could have played it, showed you the ball lightning, did 4 go again, and then play the Arcanic, do it again, and then not had an Arsenal this turn.
Yeah, you don't want that. You never want that.
Yeah. But I like it better with the red Earthor Surge.
You got 9, and then you got that ball lightning. Is that what's coming up?
You know I have a ball lightning.
Yeah.
Yep. I have 1 floating, and I can swing the sword.
So you could ball lightning, swing, arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. But you probably don't waste the ball lightning on that. I don't know.
Probably not.
Maybe you do. That probably is okay for me. All right, so I'm in a position. So like, what I'm thinking is, I have some goods to deliver.
He's got the goods.
But I need to wait for the right hand before I can properly deliver those goods. So my goal now is to wait until I have to prevent myself from losing health until I get to the point where I can deliver the goods.
I'm gonna show my hand and talk about it, because I think that's been very productive.
Yeah.
So I have ball lightning and yellow Sotomaro. My assumption here is that you might put a card back on top of my deck. If I have to choose, so tomorrow's what I want to arsenal. Because it literally lets me get a 1-cost or greater back. So that
so good.
Earthlore Surge, because I don't have Plume, is probably the card I'm getting back. I could also get Rites of Lightning back, interestingly. So that's not a bad play here. And I would put this back on top of my deck, assuming that happens, and just swing the sword. And I'm totally fine with that turn. Then go into next round. That's what I'm looking at. So
I've got no elemental cards here. I've got all heat. So this is your last bastion of swing for 4. That's your 1-card hand there. Your second best hand is swing for 7. So you add a 3 card and you add 3 damage. These cards are not going to do anything for me this turn. So they're gone. They out of here. So I know I'm blocking with 6 for sure. I can cover up 9 here. And then swing for 4, which is probably the most efficient play. Or I can go ahead and cover up the sword with this as my 2 as well, and go to the next turn. Because a 4 damage hammer at this rate of play, you take and keep going, right? It's kind of what goes through my head. So I almost think this is better at blocking 2 than it is swinging a hammer for 4, which is insane. But it might be right.
I mean, it's really a matter of, like I said, people play their best cards early on. So
can you just get there? Because I know I've got heat coming down the pipe too.
Yeah. So in Oldhim against Briar, I like to save as much health as I can.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a critical card.
Critical card, critical turn. Let's block 9.
Okay.
And then we'll see what happens.
Then I'll just swing the sword for 2 and 2.
Okay. And then now we could like Buckler Runaways and swing for 4. This 2 damage doesn't matter either way, right? We can always do that on a Briar turn.
Yeah, and if there's like a hit effect that really matters, that's when you want to use it.
So I'll block for 3 and take 2.
Okay.
2
Arcane. Arsenal and pass to you.
And then coming back over.
You're just passing. And when it comes to Briar too, you kind of just always give her a chance to potato it.
You got to have the potato chance, yeah.
All right, let's pitch a blue. And we're going to play this So Tomorrow to draw a card.
It's So Tomorrow.
And I will put... I'm going to actually put Rites of Lightning on the bottom. So I really want that Earthlore Surge. Can I even do that? Yeah. But it's going to be the end of the game when that's showing up, or late in the game. And the idea that I'm going to have an attack I can play and be able to pitch is terrifying. 1 cost with a lightning card diffuse is way more likely for an arcane. Anyways,
true story.
So Tomorrow.
That's true.
Man, oh man.
Great, yeah, I'm glad you're going to be there, House of Mysteria.
Wowie, wowie.
What's up, Adventure Co? Hey, I'm glad to hear that, AJ. AJ? Adventure Co game?
I think so.
AJ, yeah.
Oh,
you're making it hard to resist.
Sometimes it's just
it's heat, man. It's heat. Leave me alone.
So here's actually a really fascinating play, right? I can go a couple routes. I have a free go again, so I could take the ball lightning, but I don't want to waste that. So I could literally pitch the ball lightning, play stir, fuse. So it's 6-10 with go again. Card to swing the sword if you don't get rid of it. Or I could pitch both of these to play the break ground at 12. 1 floating, guarantee I can swing the sword.
That's way better.
So that's a 16 damage turn, right? But in my brain, it's like, oh, I have the resources and the fusion, and then I'll get an arsenal card. But against against not Oldhim, I would think about that.
This is what planning control is all about. You have to compound damage to a place where I can't just pitch my hand.
Yeah. Given these factors, I will play a break ground, pitching 4, and 1 floating, and it has go again from this embodiment, and it's coming in at 12.
And we know the sword's coming up too.
Yeah.
That's good business.
So that's actually fun to think about. House of Mysterious saying Ultimates really makes Katsu's Kodachi combos difficult. So you could just like block the first one with a piece of armor or something, then react and cancel the next two you would take, and it'll just stop the next Kodachi.
I mean, you don't even have to block the first one. Just go to reactions and prevent the next
goodness,
two.
It's so good.
It's good. Also, just the ability for them to like search out and they have the last combo piece or whatever, and you just put it on top of their deck. But it's a lot of disruption. It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what our options are. I like to check and see if I got a Weave Earth in here. 12 damage. This is a big Briar turn.
Yeah.
They're not always this big. Give her a chance to potato on the 4 card here. You're going to be taking 4 damage no matter what. I can only block 9 out of this hand. And I don't have any blue earth cards for the prevent 2. So like it's just put them all down. So I'm going to take...
Do you have a blue card?
I'm going to take 7 here. Only Weave Earth, yeah. It's not going to improve my odds here.
No.
All right, so let's block 9.
Whoosh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So take 3.
Taking 3.
And then swing the sword for 4.
And then taking 2, and then 2. Down to 8. Yeah, I can block both Kodachis if they lead with an attack, for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Show me what you're working with here.
Turns out not all hands are created equal.
That's right.
Bramble Spark showing you so tomorrow. It's a yellow bramble, so it's not bad. Then I'll play a blue Setting Steel Blade.
This is the turn we've been waiting for here, basically.
1 arcane damage and the 4 damage attack.
1 arcane. It does not currently have go again?
Nope. I could pay 1 and swing the sword, though. Welcome to Briartown.
You got 4 coming at me. Okay, here we go. So let's consider this. It's a weird one. So you got 4 coming at me. Just a nice 4. Just 4 damage. The old 4. 4, 4, 4. I take it, you gotta pop the boots and do that whole thing.
Spoiler, that's the plan.
Yeah. Okay, so then we're in a different moment then. So let's block 3.
Cool.
And take 1.
Okay. I'll pop the boots. See if we go again.
Oh, hold on a second.
We go to reaction. You haven't taken 1 yet then.
I may end up. I think I need to do this. No, I can't. That's such a bummer. My earth cards aren't showing where I need them. Yeah, I'm taking 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pay 1 to give go again. Pay 1 to swing the sword.
All right. So I'll block the sword for 2 and take 2.
Arsenal pass.
Briar puts it out now.
She has the heat.
All right. Well, let's try to turn it over just a little bit. You've got a 4, so you can block a 5 potentially here with your weird. So let's go pitch for the old Terra Sunder, and then Cracker Jacks No, it's action cards only. So let's just pitch Titan's Fist for 5.
The goods have been delivered.
5 with Dominate here.
And if it hits, I discard 2.
Yeah.
This is where if I had that Channel Mount Heroic blocking for 5 would be
so
devastating.
Yeah,
That's what's so crazy about Briar, man.
Game over, man.
All right.
It'd be game over.
Instead,
Hopefully you don't have it.
I will just take 5 and discard 2 of my choice.
Yeah, that's right. Ugh, 4 health is so bad here. Okay. Oof.
All right. Discard 2. Over to me.
Yeah.
Let's pay 1 for a So Tomorrow, blue. So I'll get a 2-coster back. Now we'll get that Earthor Third, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Then I draw a card.
You can have some stinkers now. It's stinky.
We'll just go, right? So funny. Entwine Earth for 6.
Just an old-fashioned 6, huh?
Yeah, now it is worth noting, people dog on these Entwine cards sometimes, but Mark of Lightning is lightning or elemental attack. So technically, it's a 7. It's like if you block with a 3 and don't have a reaction or something. But a reaction is how you also bait me into blowing up those things when it's not lethal. / boots, etc.
I don't like being on 3, man. I think they might have to hit the buckler on this one.
Sometimes you gotta smack that buckler.
Uh-huh. So we know this is blocking. We know we'll pitch one of these. And then the other one, yeah. Yeah. Pitch, block. Block. I think that's right. Ugh, it's not good no matter which way you slice it. Alright, let's pitch to put one on top with the ice reaction. I guess this is the wrong order. Let's block 6 here.
Yeah, and then ice me.
And then ice you, yeah.
Alright. I will allow it.
And then, is this the right? No, wait, hold on. This is the one that I want. You're the one that I want. Ooh, 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 ooh. Over to you.
Well, you've got some wiggle-ish. I think I can wiggle more.
You got the wiggle, I've got
Let's go red bramble, no fusion. Red invigorate. It's not that bad. It is pretty bad though. I'm gonna play explosive growth, pitching here.
No fusion.
1 floating. No fusion. It would be Dunkarinis.
You didn't fuse the bramble either?
No, I don't have it.
Good news, Bears.
But this does an arcane. This does an arcane when I play it. And it has go again.
2 unavoidable arcane damage. Cool story, cool story.
Yeah.
And it's doing 3 at me?
3 at you. It does have go again. I do have 1 floating, so you do the math.
All right, so let's block 3 and then react blue earth card there to prevent the next 2.
Okay. I'll swing a sword.
And then I'll block that.
The 2 get canceled from that.
Yeah, 2 arcane gets canceled, and then let's block that here. Yeah. Block here.
All right. We're almost to that second cycle.
Over there.
Not all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one who's getting fatigued here.
It's close.
Block with all my cards.
The thing is, this is what every time I fatigue someone with that deck, I got low on health. I started blocking a lot. and then you use the reaction, so you run out of cards way less fast than they do right at the end.
Yeah.
And then when you're on these 4-card hands, you put one back, it just starts getting real.
All right, let's pitch hammer for 3.
I'm not supposed to block this.
No, I don't think there's any world where you block that unless your cards are just garbage.
They're not.
This world is not. On 2, I mean, it's just like, is there a way to swing? No, there's not, because you have to play an attack to swing for 2 with the sword, 2 arcane.
I found it. Take
so
coming.
Bad. 3. Yeah. Okay.
You got those boots?
I got the boots. Yeah. But we're on a turn by turn. Am I dying clock at this point?
Yeah, I agree. Let's go blue Velo, and I'm going to show you this lightning surge, yellow or blue, so I can put my next non-attack as an instant.
Okay, coming in for 3. No arcane damage currently.
Instants are the worst thing in the world for Oldham's ability, by the way.
They are. You're right.
I almost got dunked on in the top 8 this weekend with that. But you can't play that card out of your hand that I paid 3 to get rid of. Yes, I can. Lightning press for 3.
All right, block 3 there. Go to reactions. You get the first. You have to do it now if you're doing it at all, I suppose.
I'm gonna do this first.
Okay.
For 1.
Yeah. So that happens immediately.
That happens
actually
when you
can't do
block.
anything about that.
Not about the 1. Then, as an instant.
Yeah, you hold it.
Hold what?
I mean, you still got the reaction window.
Yeah, I'm gonna play an instant.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a Channel Mount Heroic for 3.
Very nice.
So now it's coming in at 6.
All right. You respond out to that one. So technically, this is floating right now, even as an instant. So before it takes, it won't matter because like it taking effect, I can still respond after the resolution of it.
Yeah.
But there are some times where that would matter.
Like before it's happening. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, so we crack runaways. Have we taken damage yet? We haven't.
Yeah, I did 1 with the mark.
That's right. Crack runaways. And then we'll pitch. You have any cards in hand?
Nope.
You don't.
But I do have an action floating now.
Yeah. So I actually have to do it there, which is awkward. Pitch those guys, prevent the next 2. And put a card in the top of your deck if you want to, but you don't have any.
Okay, so you're blocking 3.
Prevent 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And then
And then I'll swing the sword.
you got me.
And he's dead.
Nothing to be done there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not. I can't seem to get Oldham to win for me in Sealed. I don't think I've ever won with him.
With him and Sealed?
Like in a real way.
Well, you played him that first day, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. And when everyone was figuring out the set, but once everyone knew how to work Briar, I felt like the arcane was greater than what I could ever overcome.
Yeah.
In Sealed, at least.
I mean, I think a good Briar pool, which this is. That's why I opted for it over Oldham. It depends on how much arcane damage they're pumping. But if their arcane's actually coming from the sword, those builds, because a lot of them, it's like when you have a lot of lightning or go again stuff.
Yeah.
You're counting the sword, and that's where you just cover up the attack and use a reaction.
That's where Oldham gets good.
And then, like, this really challenging. But this one, like, I literally had, let me just show 1.
You just got a lot of arcane on hit, or on play.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow, that is a wizard build 11. Right there.
So I have 11 cards
Gross.
that do it. And then, if it's on a ball lightning turn, it gets worse. That's the thing. I have 2 Earthworm Surges, so like it was a really good pool for that specific purpose.
Yeah. That one turn you caught me on, you did a 12, and I only had 9 block in hand.
That also is
so
bad.
And then you swung the sword on top of it. I lost so much health there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on 30 Mysteria, and then I think we had 13 blues in that. People, I swear it's overvalued in Oldham.
The blues?
Yeah. Like so many times I'm pitching, like you said, red and yellow or yellow and yellow to get both effects. Like so much. Against Briar, you want both. So like,
yeah,
having all those blue cards. And swinging the hammer, ultimately, I don't think it ever really matters. Like, it puts...
I mean, I think it matters if you can block for 9 or use 3 cards. You cost them a card with an ice card, you prevent 2 damage, and you block for 3.
Mm-hmm.
If that combo happens, like on those middle turns of me, like when I swung for 6 with the Entwine Earth or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't matter as much on Entwine Earth. Where it really gets good is when putting that card back on stops the turn.
Yeah.
Which, once you start playing around it, right, which I was doing constantly, it's a lot harder for that to be like that can be a bag-breaking moment.
Yeah.
Losing that. I have the resources floating, I have a card in hand that's a big attack, and then like I just don't get to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But swinging the sword only matters. Like, I think there's kind of 2 archetypes of Oldhim. One is more that like trudgy control thing, which maybe you have to have Hard Ice, maybe you have to have Winter's Wail, maybe you have to have...
Yeah, maybe in draft you could pull it off a little bit better, but the Briar's also going to be so much more higher octane.
The Oldhim I really like is you have Cracker Jacks, you've got Thumps, you've got the 3 for 7s.
Yeah, the 3 for 7s. I had the 2 Snow Unders in there. It kind of hit at the wrong time. It was a weird sequence. It was also strange the Tier Asunder and Arsenal sat there for a long time.
Yeah.
Which is technically fine, because like you're kind of waiting on it. When you did have that potato hand, but unfortunately I had potatoes as well.
Yeah.
So I could only use it on the hammer.
Yeah.
And if that was a Snow Under turn, that gets a little bit better.
Yeah, like
but still, it's not enough. I mean, you're ending at 11 there.
Yeah.
So
I think this is also just like exceptionally good.
He doesn't, like anybody, he doesn't have an answer to Arcane. I think a good Briar pool that's putting out enough Arcane heat just is not going to get fatigued.
I mean, he does have the Arcane answer on the sword.
Yeah.
Which is like half of my Briar decks.
True.
It's like I just have the go again stuff and like...
And then just swing the sword.
Yeah.
And you would lose to an Oldhim who really knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
If they have a good enough deck.
But it is also, to me, it is harder to play. Like, you have to be on your game.
Like the blockouts and stuff.
Just like when it makes sense to actually react and when it makes sense to just block from hand. And like, it is a lot of work.
Sure.
To like, it's not as exciting as like, here's this giant turn I can string together. That's why I think people are so drawn to Briar, right? It's like, it's just, look at my hand, I can do 18 damage.
Yeah.
It's more exciting than like, I can stop my opponent from doing anything.
Well, I also just don't think it works as many times.
Yeah.
Oldham's game plan just doesn't work as often. Like even Mysterious saying low time of 1 is with 34 to 36 in order to basically fatigue out my opponent. It's like, but neither of us ran out of deck.
Yeah.
So like, you can make an argument for running more than 30 if you end the game with no cards in your deck.
Yeah.
But I was just having stronger cards and still not able to get it done.
And that's it. A lot of that too. It's not just the Arcane. All the breakpoints in that my stack were good.
Yeah.
Because like when I'm coming in at 4, it's such an awkward. Like you can't block it with 2 cards.
Right.
And you don't want to waste.
Sometimes you have to. Though.
Sometimes you have to. So like, sometimes Briar has all the breakpoints. Like I felt like I had a good amount of this is the appropriate breakpoint. And 2 red outflow surges also can be a problem. Just like.
Can be a problem.
Yeah, 10. Once you get past 8, because some hands don't block for more than 8 or 9.
I know, like that 9 block hand, I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, so I'm sending 12 and then 4. Like, you're just taking 6 or 7. It's kind of like that Lexi hand you opened with in the first game where you just did 5 to me.
Yeah.
And had an arsenal.
Like, oh, hello.
Like, that's a crazy advantage.
Yeah.
Like, you start so far ahead in that game.
It's like Wizard, man. It's like you got a Wizard thing going on. All right, I'm going to back us out here. All right, so we're going to Dallas. Let's go to Dallas.
If you're going to be in Dallas, say something to us. Say hi. If it's pleasant. If you don't like us, then I don't know why you're 3 hours deep into this stream. Honestly. But you can say hi, too.
These guys.
That'll be fine. We'll be happy to say hello. And if you were not here for the first hour of our stream, today we launched the Majestic tokens and boards compatible with the Flesh and Blood TCG. The boards are the dice holders we've been using on stream for a while, and then the tokens are the resource. Do we have proper names for these? Resource activation.
Resource activation armor.
And armor tokens. Full set will cover definitely 1 player. It's close to 2. depending.
I think you can get away with 2.
You can share if you
it'd
had
be a little
to.
awkward sometimes.
So 1 per player is the recommendation on that. A lot of edge cases, though, of course. Like, who had 3? I have 3 potions and I popped them. I need 18 resources.
I mean, that's stuff. I mean, you know, you can get away. We have 4 in the set on the resources. Most of the time, you're pitching a blue, paying for a 1-cost thing. That'll get most of your situations covered. We put 8 armor tokens in the set that covers 4 pieces of battle worn 2 armor, which you can't do right now, but
maybe someday.
There may be a world where that happens. And then you've also got 7 activation tokens, so that covers 4 pieces of armor, all having activated abilities. 2 weapons, each having activated abilities, and then your hero having activated ability, and then you're doing all of that in a single turn. So we made it as robust as we could to hit that $20 price point. So, it's a great little set, and if you need to share it between 2 people, I think you can get away with that. And then it's also a good way to just test it out, see if you like it, and then maybe buy your own.
And to everyone that's already bought them, tons of people are buying them. We shipped a bunch of them out the door today. Just thank you. People buying stuff from us, whether it's tokens or subscriptions, or even our content and local members, make everything we do here possible. So huge shout out to you.
And yeah, cheers to Winning Agenda there. Great podcast. Congrats on the tokens and boards. They look great. I'm still using my data tokens and Team Covenant TWA tokens, Winning Agenda tokens. Remember we did that?
That's crazy.
That was a cool little team up we did.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if you're doing well over there, Jesse or whoever. I think it's Jesse, right? Are you Winning Agenda, Jesse? There's a couple of people involved, I think, isn't there? Surely it's not just one guy talking. It's not just Jesse talking the whole time.
It's the winning agenda.
Oh, the
winning agenda.
The one agenda.
Yeah,
that's great.
He is the agenda.
Also, I saw your winning agenda. I saw your Bolton deck tech video from a while back. I'm taking Bolton probably to the Dallas in case the Pro Quest you want to play in that.
It is Jesse. Man in the
great.
fort.
Yeah.
There.
So. That was really helpful. I was just happy to see your thoughts. I actually also went in the Dynamo Dust Path direction and then unfortunately left it. But I wish that I was there because I love Valiant Dynamo. I love it. We've never in a place. Look at the value. It's like, oh my gosh, recurring value. But I don't think it's quite the right choice.
House of Mystery asking, will we have any of the tokens for sale at the calling? We will not. We're going to play. Won't have a booth or anything. So if you want anything, you can order it. Order ship within 1 business day, unless there's like national holidays and whatnot. And it's pandemic made it interesting, but most of the time, you're looking at a couple day ship time in the U.S.
That's right. And we just don't like to sell stuff at other people's party, You go to like someone else's convention, it's like, hey, we've got these, and you buy from us. So
yeah.
Thanks for everything, guys. We'll see you in Dallas. Hope to see you in Dallas.
That's
Take
right.
care.